Chapter 25:56. No, that's impossible. That's impossible. How could I lose? How could I lose? Qin Beixian was enraged. He finally decided to stop hiding his strength. He was the top prodigy of the Heavenly Wind Group, and his martial skills were equally powerful. Top-tier Jade grade martial skill, Heavenly Wind Wolf Seal. Qin Beixian roared. He formed a seal with his hands. A huge, heavenly wolf appeared out of thin air, and then fiercely pounced towards Ling Xiao. The power of this move was more than 10 times stronger than the previous punch. The scene was shocking. Interesting. Ling Xiao drew out the white jade flying dragon sword and stabbed out. Dark slash. It was the same low-grade top-tier jade grade martial skill, under the same level of attainment. The sword and the wolf seal clashed. Ling Xiao took a step back, but Qin Beixian was sent flying again. How is that possible? How could Beixian lose to that guy in a martial skill competition? Chen Xianfeng was very calm at first because the Qin Beixian he knew had never lost a fight. How could he lose to Ling Xiao? It was impossible. He couldn't believe it. Qin Beixian landed on the ground. His blood was boiling and he felt very uncomfortable. Everyone looked at him in surprise, not daring to believe that this was real. Hey, senior brother, stop joking. Get serious. Is Ling Xiao really that powerful? The martial artists in the Heavenly Wind Group were starting to lose confidence. Even Qin Beixian couldn't believe it. His Heavenly Wolf Beast Soul was a 1-star yin-yang state beast soul at the peak of level 7 of hell. He had paid a heavy price for this beast soul. He thought that he could easily defeat Ling Xiao if he used this beast soul transformation. However, he realized that he was wrong. No. Qin Beixian roared and unleashed his energy. His energy was increasing at an incredible speed. Damn, he broke through? Ling Xiao scratched his head. He was surprised. Qin Beixian had broken through during the battle and reached the early stage of level 7 of hell. Ha ha ha, ha, Ling Xiao, I really have to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid I would have to stay here for a very long time. In order to express my gratitude, I will use my strongest attack to end your life. Qin Beixian let out a peal of laughter, although he knew that it was bullying to deal with Ling Xiao with the cultivation of the 7th layer of hell. But at this moment he no longer cared. As long as he could defeat Ling Xiao, he would be satisfied. Ling Xiao had made him lose too much face, and he was very unhappy now. Ayaya, this is going to be troublesome. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly, but there was not the slightest trace of fear on his face. If someone could read his eyes, they would discover that Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with absolute surprise. He needed a strong opponent to help him break through. He originally thought that he would have to search outside the Ox God's maze. However, Qin Beixian had made a breakthrough. His opponent was right in front of him. Are you scared? But it's too late. The moment I broke through, the battle was already over. Qin Beixian's arrogance and confidence had returned to him. The martial artists of the Tianfeng group cheered even louder. Even Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death started to worry about Ling Xiao. Qin Beixian's breakthrough came as a surprise to them as well. Scared? No, no, no. I am just saying that you are the only one who is worthy of me. Ling Xiao shook his head. He put away the white jade flying dragon sword. He took out the black deity sword and the black demon sword. With the 2 swords in his hands, Ling Xiao's aura surged and his energy became even more powerful. The divine grade spirit artifact is good, but do you really think you can defeat me with those 2 swords? Qin Beixian said disdainfully. Meanwhile, he had already started to prepare his attack. In order to avoid any more trouble, he planned to defeat Ling Xiao as soon as possible. Of course, Ling Xiao wasn't going to sit back and do nothing. With the black deity sword and the black demon sword in his hands, Qin Beixian's ultimate thunder physique started to glow with lightning. Transform, ultimate immortal thunder physique. Suddenly, the purple-blue lightning on his body turned crimson. The eerie crimson lightning was filled with a despairing death chi. At this moment, other than not using the Sky Tyrant martial soul, Ling Xiao could be said to have fully displayed his strength. This guy must die. Seeing the eerie, immortal thunder physique, Qin Beixian furrowed his brows. The breakthrough in his cultivation gave him the ability to kill Ling Xiao. He didn't want to miss this opportunity because Ling Xiao was too eerie and difficult to deal with. This guy was a monster. Qin Beixian suddenly dropped to the ground. His body gradually turned into a giant moon-howling wolf. It was more than 3 meters tall and had a length of 4 to 5 meters. The huge body brought about a significant increase in strength. Do you know that a real beast warrior is different from a beast soul transformed warrior? They are two completely different concepts. A true beast martial artist, even in the state of a demonic beast, could still use all the martial techniques that they had mastered. But a beast soul transformed warrior can't. Qin Beixian said something that shocked Ling Xiao as he transformed. To be honest, Ling Xiao didn't know this. He didn't know the difference between a beast warrior and a beast soul transformed warrior. Now he gradually understood. Since he understood, he could use it, because he was more powerful than Qin Beixian. He was a beast god warrior. He was of a higher level than a beast warrior. Since a beast warrior could do it, a beast god warrior would naturally be able to do it as well. I can give it a try. With a thought, Ling Xiao's entire body transformed into the form of a purple lightning bull. The pair of horns were the fusion of the black deity sword and the black demon sword. It was interesting to use sword moves in the form of the purple lightning bull. Moreover, he could feel that after the complete beast transformation, his abilities in all aspects had greatly improved. He could even use the martial skills in his human form. This was simply cheating. But perhaps this was the reason why beast warriors were feared by the other warriors in the Black Tortoise continent. You are indeed a beast warrior, but your cultivation is not as good as mine. How can you defeat me? Submit to me and become my subordinate. I can make you a beast warrior second only to me. Qin Beixian thought that he was the only beast warrior in the 8 Immortals County. However, when he saw Ling Xiao, he suddenly had the idea of subduing him. Save it. You are not as strong as me. Even if you are stronger than me, I have many ways to deal with you. You actually want to subdue me. What a joke. Ling Xiao glanced at Qin Beixian disdainfully. A terrifying sword light began to condense on the horns. Both horns circulated internal energy at the same time. He was going to use the 4th move of the shadow martial arts, which was the most powerful martial skill he had mastered so far. It was a martial skill even stronger than Xianming Slayer. Chapter 25:57. Ling Xiao planned to use a normal top-tier jade ranked martial art to defeat Qin Beixian. It was worth it to use this trick on Qin Beixian. If you want to die, then die. Normal top-tier jade ranked martial art, Heavenly Wolf Fist. A gust of wind. A gust of wind. The huge Heavenly Wolf's body was so agile and powerful. In a blink of an eye, it was right in front of Ling Xiao. Along with the terrifying power, the ground along the way cracked open. How terrifying! Even if this punch landed on a small mountain, it would probably turn the mountain into dust. How could Ling Xiao win? Chen Xianfeng was finally relieved. Qin Beixian was indeed the most powerful prodigy in the 8 Immortals County. His idol had become even more powerful than before. What a pity for Ling Xiao. If not for Qin Beixian's breakthrough, he might have been able to defeat Qin Beixian. Kong Yu heaved a sigh, his heart filled with helplessness. He couldn't believe how much he wanted Ling Xiao to win. So did Shi Yanran, Akira Toriyama, and Zhenhai. Perhaps Lin Yuetian was the only one who didn't want Ling Xiao to win. Are you out of your mind? Lin Yuetian cracked a cold smile. He had already recovered from his injuries and was planning to take advantage of Qin Beixian and Ling Xiao when they were both injured. However, it seemed that he had lost all hope. Qin Beishuan's current strength was enough to crush Ling Xiao. He could even defeat Ling Xiao without suffering any injuries. Ha 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 ha! Look at that piece of trash from the 8 Immortals Mountain! The crowd of the Heavenly Wind group burst into laughter. They thought that Ling Xiao had lost his mind. They thought that Ling Xiao was going to lose. But was that really the case? A disdainful sneer flashed across the huge purple lightning bull's eyes. Then, its 4 hooves suddenly stomped on the ground. Not only did it not retreat, it instead charged forward. More terrifyingly, the pair of horns on its head turned into a terrifying blade aura that seemed to be able to split yin and yang. The 4th style of shadow tactics, cleaving yin-yang. Yin, yang, 5 elements, all of them were destroyed. As the purple lightning bull charged forward, the huge sword shadow slammed into the sky wolf's huge fist. The 2 beasts collided in space. A terrifying fluctuation instantly spread out in all directions. Many warriors were directly overturned by this terrifying power, flying dozens of meters away. Rumble. Continuous rumbling sounds could be heard as the ground around the 2 giant beasts began to collapse. The sky shattered because of this. In the chaotic smoke and dust, only the howls of wolves and cows could be heard. No one could see the real situation on the field. It was a complete mess. They could only feel a terrifying power being released from it, causing everyone to tremble with fear. Even Lin Yuetian was trembling. Boom! Finally, the energy in the void was torn apart. The terrifying howls of wolves and oxen also stopped instantly. 2 figures flew out from the fog. One of the figures flipped a few times in the air before finally landing on the ground in a sorry state. His body was riddled with wounds, and his mouth was dripping with blood. However, he stubbornly stood there with a cold expression. He was Ling Xiao. The members of the Heavenly Wind group didn't have time to celebrate. The other figure flew out almost at the same time. This figure was in a terrible state. Qin Beixian, who had already returned to his human form, spurted out blood. His arms had been cut off. His body was still bleeding from the horrible wounds. He was on the verge of dying. He lost. Qin Beixian lost. Qin Beixian, who was at the early stage of the 7th level of hell, lost. In the crowd, someone finally broke the silence and said what many people wanted to say. Some people wanted to refute, but they couldn't. Qin Beixian was on the verge of losing consciousness. He lay there like a dead body that was barely breathing. Ling Xiao chose to sit down cross-legged. This time, Qin Beishuan's attack was indeed powerful and finally helped him break through the shackles. From the peak of the 6th level of hell, he reached the early stage of the 7th level of hell. He needed to stabilize his cultivation. Master, should we kill him? The little devil girl suddenly asked. Forget it. Since he helped me break through, I'll spare his life. In any case, he's no longer a threat to me in his current state. Ling Xiao closed his eyes and said lightly, Yes. The little devil girl stood aside obediently and didn't want to make a move. However, at this moment, a figure suddenly pounced towards Ling Xiao. It was Lin Yuetian. Although Lin Yuetian was shocked by Qin Beishuan's defeat, he believed that Qin Beixian was injured. However, he believed that Ling Xiao was heavily injured after defeating Lin Yuetian. As long as he launched a sneak attack now, he would definitely be able to kill Ling Xiao. F***K, that's shameless. Kong Yu was taken aback. The people of 8 Immortal Mountain were stunned. No matter what, Ling Xiao had brought honor to the 8 Immortal Mountain. If Lin Yuetian did this, it would be a joke. However, they couldn't stop it, because Lin Yuetian was stronger than them. Seeing that Ling Xiao was about to die in the hands of evil people, there was nothing they could do. Just as they were about to lament that there would be one less prodigy in the world, Lin Yuetian suddenly flew up into the sky in a straight line. What was going on? They saw that the little girl who looked like she was only 7 or 8 years old had punched Lin Yuetian and sent him flying. Not only that, A black light shot out from the little girl's hand and enveloped Lin Yuetian, the top prodigy of the 8 Immortal Mountain, the young sect master. He was reduced to ashes, and his body was nowhere to be found. The little devil girl's attack was Ling Xiao's idea. Without talking, Ling Xiao could control the little devil girl to do whatever he wanted. Unfortunately, Lin Yuetian didn't know that and died in vain. Seeing this scene, everyone's minds went completely blank. What was going on? They couldn't accept that Ling Xiao had defeated Qin Beixian. A 7 or 8-year-old girl by Ling Xiao's side killed Lin Yuetian in one move. What the hell? Suddenly, Ling Xiao opened his eyes. Seeing Ling Xiao's eyes, everyone from the Heavenly Wind Group and the Duke of Yu's family dropped to their knees in fear. Chen Xianfeng was no exception. No one wanted to die. If they didn't want to die, then they had to submit to the strong. Qin Beixian, who was lying on the ground, had already been fed a healing pill which saved his life. But in his eyes, there was a gray color of despair. He realized that he would never be able to avenge himself. Never. Ling Xiao looked at Qin Beixian coldly. Number 1 prodigy of the 8 Immortal State? Hee, that's all there is to it. Thank you for helping me. I won't kill you now, but I hope you don't do anything stupid in the future. Otherwise, not only will you die, but the Heavenly Wind Group will also die. I am a man of my word. His words were simple, but they were full of sarcasm for Qin Beixian. However, Qin Beixian didn't even have the courage to be angry. He had already felt hopeless when Ling Xiao didn't make the breakthrough. Chapter 2558. Ling Xiao, if you don't kill me today, you will regret it. I will tell my father, the leader of the Tianfeng group, everything that has happened here. You destroyed Xiaofeng Canua and me. Do you think either of them will let you go? Qin Beixian was asking for death. He felt that there was nothing more he wanted in life. Since there was no hope for revenge, he might as well die. Then let them come. Ling Xiao said disdainfully, Do you really think that I would still be afraid of the 2 of them now? Even the 13th prince will be killed if he pisses me off. He sneered and snatched the incomplete inheritance of the Heavenly Thunder Sacred Emperor from Qin Beixian. Although he didn't need to cultivate it anymore, it still contained the terrifying power of the purple lightning bull. Ling Xiao wanted to store this power for himself. His cultivation speed would be as fast as before. Crazy! Xiaofeng Canua looked at Ling Xiao weakly. She could only think that Ling Xiao was crazy. He didn't even care about the 13th prince. What was he thinking? Ha ha ha, you are right. I am crazy, so you better not provoke a crazy person. Sister Ruoxian, Yu Shang, little demoness, let's go. It's time for this battle to end. Ling Xiao laughed and walked out of the Ox God's maze. In this battle, his gains were really plentiful. In addition to the great benefits, he had also eliminated the enemy martial artists. Even Lin Yuetian was killed by him. He, Lin Ruoxian, and Moon Death were the strongest among the younger generation of the 8 Immortal Mountain. The 8 Immortal Mountain was already in the bag. He was a little afraid of Lin Quan before, but now he wasn't even afraid of Lin Quan. He could basically do whatever he wanted in the 8 Immortal County. However, the weakest martial artists in the Qin Kingdom's capital were at the peak of the 6th level of hell. There were also countless martial artists at the First Revolution, Yin Yang Realm's 7th level of hell. Ordinary martial artists had no stage in the Imperial City. Over there, the people Ling Xiao would meet were basically all first transition martial artists. Now he was really looking forward to it. Now, Ling Xiao had taken a solid step forward. Not only did he obtain the divine ox beast soul, but he also obtained the true and false inheritances of the Holy Emperor of Heavenly Thunder. It could be said that he would definitely become a disciple of the Arcana Academy. However, the problem now was that he would become the target of public criticism because of this. He had offended the Duke of Yu's residence, the Tianfeng group, and some of the higher-ups of the 8 Immortals Mountain. Was it troublesome? Ha ha! Since I'm going to leave this place, I might as well make a scene and make the 8 immortal city my territory. In any case, he had already offended those who needed to be offended. Ling Xiao did not care anymore. The 8 immortals mountain, the Tianfeng group, and the Duke of Yu's mansion, whoever didn't listen to him, he would destroy them. This place could only have one owner in the future, and that was Ling Xiao. Having made up his mind, Ling Xiao was no longer worried. Instead, he became very excited. After all, he was about to do something big, so he was always a little excited. Ling Xiao was the first to walk out of the Ox Deity's maze, followed by Lin Ruoxian, Moon Death, and Little Devil. However, the people outside did not seem to be paying attention to him. Whoever came out first would not be the final winner. Perhaps the last one to come out would gain the most. Ling Xiao did not care. He found a clean stone table and sat down. Then he chatted with Lin Ruoxian and the others. "Are you all okay?" At this time, the elders and patriarch of the Moon Clan, as well as Hai Wuzuan and Hai Wuliang of the Dark Clan, walked over. They were relatively close to Ling Xiao, so it was natural for them to be concerned about him. "Thank you, seniors, for your concern. I'm fine for the time being." Ling Xiao's words had a hidden meaning. It was fine for now, but if someone complained about him later, he would be in trouble. Following Ling Xiao out of the Ox Deity's maze were the 4 remaining members of the 8 Immortal Mountain: Kong Yu, Akira Toriyama, Shi Yanran, and Zhen Hai. Ling Xiao originally thought that the 4 of them would go and complain, but he didn't expect that the 4 of them wouldn't say anything at all. They just stood there like silent gourds. It seemed that Ling Xiao's victory over Qin Beixian had made the 4 of them realize how powerful Ling Xiao was. No matter how stupid they were, they would not make an enemy out of Ling Xiao again. The Tianfeng group and the Duke of Yu's mansion followed them out. When everyone saw Xiaofeng Wanyue and Chen Beishuan's miserable state, they were stunned. One of them was ranked first on the genius roll, while the other was ranked 3rd on the genius roll. Both of them were crippled. Only the outsiders did not know that the 2 of them were crippled by Ling Xiao. Lin Yuetian, who was ranked 2nd on the genius roll, was also killed by Ling Xiao, although Chen Beixian was the one who did it. However, the little devil girl was his avatar. As for who had died in the maze, the outsiders already knew. Every contestant who entered the Ox Deity's maze had a soul lock card. Once the contestant died, the soul lock card would fly back to the 13th prince. It was normal for people to die in the Ox Deity's maze. However, Lin Yuetian's death was a shock to many. After all, he was 2nd only to Qin Beixian. Seeing Chen Beixian and Xiaofeng Wanyue in such a state, people's imagination ran wild. "Who killed my son?" Lin Quan's angry roar suddenly rose. He grabbed Kong Yu and asked in a stern voice. Although Kong Yu was frightened, he lowered his head and remained silent. He did not want to betray Ling Xiao, not only because of Ling Xiao's power, but also because he admired Ling Xiao. To be honest, he was really afraid that Ling Xiao would kill the 4 of them in order to silence them. However, Ling Xiao didn't do that. Gradually, he realized that he had been wrong about Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao was not a murderous person. If he killed someone, it must be because his opponent had a reason to kill him. "Bastard, do you have a death wish?" Lin Quan only had one son, Lin Yuetian. He would kill Kong Yu if he didn't. "You are a sect master. Don't make things difficult for your own disciple. If he won't tell you, I will." Ling Xiao was not afraid to admit that he had killed Lin Yuetian. Even if the people of 8 Immortal Mountain didn't say anything, the Tianfeng group and the Duke of Yu's mansion would gossip. Therefore, he might as well admit it. "Who?" Lin Quan threw Kong Yu to the ground and asked harshly. Ling Xiao pointed at himself and said indifferently, "I killed Lin Yuetian, Xiaofei Yue, Sha Menglong, Jian Tianqin, Jian Lufeng, Hai Wuzuan, and Ming were all killed by me. You don't have to ask them one by one." What? Hearing this, and especially seeing Ling Xiao's nonchalant expression, the faces of the leaders of 8 Immortal Mountain changed drastically. The relatives of the deceased were instantly enraged. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent. They wanted nothing more than to tear Ling Xiao into pieces. Why? Why did you kill my son Lin Yuetian? Do you really think that I won't kill you because of your master? Chapter 2559. That's not it. Your son, Lin Yuetian, was the one who got himself killed. Ling Xiao said disdainfully. Not only did he kill Lin Teng with the blood sacrifice of the demon dragon, he also planned to sacrifice the others so that he could compete with Chen Beixian for the inheritance of the Heavenly Thunder's sacred emperor. Unfortunately, he was a piece of trash. Chen Beixian almost crippled him. I finally defeated Chen Beixian, but he ambushed me. Who should I kill if not him? You are lying. How dare you say that you defeated Chen Beixian? Lin Quan refused to believe it. Bullshit. I already told you that I was the one who crippled Chen Beixian and Xiaofeng Wanyue. They are probably complaining about me right now. Ling Xiao said disdainfully. You can ask them yourself if you don't believe me. As for the rest of them, they wanted to gang up on me as soon as they entered the maze. If I'm not mistaken, it must be your scheme. It's a pity that they didn't manage to kill me, but instead lost their lives. You are digging your own grave. The elder of the Dark Ones could no longer tolerate Ling Xiao's existence. His grandson and granddaughter were dead. The most powerful prodigy of the Dark Ones had died at the hands of Ling Xiao. And Fei Tian and Ming and Hai Wuzuan were the future of the Dark Ones. He didn't care about anything else. No matter how powerful Ling Xiao's master was, no matter if the 13th prince was there or not, he didn't care anymore. What was there to be afraid of? Hatred had filled his body and turned him into an idiot who had completely lost his mind. I am digging my own grave? I didn't kill them. It was you who forced them into a dead end. Ling Xiao sneered. If it was before, he might have been afraid of the Elder of the Dark Ones. But now he didn't care about the Elder of the Dark Ones at all. The only person in the entire 8 Immortal Mountain who was qualified to fight with him was Lin Quan. At least that was what he knew. Seeing the Elder of the Dark Ones charging at him, Ling Xiao didn't draw his sword. Instead, he flicked his wrist, and a crimson lightning bolt shot out. In the blink of an eye, he was right in front of the Dark Elder. The terrifying immortal thunder exploded on the Dark Tribe Elder's body. The Dark Elder screamed in agony. His skin, flesh, and bones began to corrode under the onslaught of the undying thunder. At this moment, he suddenly understood that Ling Xiao was no longer the insignificant ant of the past. He was no longer Ling Xiao's opponent. He was afraid that there was no one else in the 8 Immortals Mountain who could exchange blows with Ling Xiao. Am I going to die? The Dark Elder couldn't accept such an outcome. He still wanted revenge. Enough! Just as the Dark Elder was about to die, the 13th Prince made his move. He easily neutralized the undying thunder. Then he suddenly looked at Ling Xiao and said, You killed in front of me. Do you still have me in your eyes? Your Highness, you have to help us. Seeing the 13th Prince attack, the Dark Elder suddenly knelt down. He knew he couldn't beat Ling Xiao, but if the 13th Prince could help him, then everything would be resolved. I've never had you in my eyes. So what? Ling Xiao looked at the 13th Prince contemptuously. If I respect you, you're the 13th Prince. If I don't respect you, you're nothing. Don't try to act all high and mighty in front of me. You better be able to judge the Ox Deity's labyrinth contest fairly. Otherwise, I'll cripple you too. You. The 13th Prince didn't expect Ling Xiao to be so audacious. How dare he act so presumptuously in front of him? What about me? Don't think I don't know that you have an expert by your side. You're neither human nor ghost, and you're hiding in the dark. You really think I don't know? Ling Xiao said coldly. If he doesn't do anything, I'll take his life. Ling Xiao should be domineering right now, because in the 8 Immortal City he was the boss. Even the people from the Imperial City had to give him face. The 13th Prince had dared to help the Dark Ones against him, and he had even tried to use the hidden assassin to kill him. He was already giving the 13th prince face by not attacking him directly. "All right, announce the result. I'm getting impatient." Ling Xiao glanced at the 13th prince and said indifferently. His expression showed that he didn't care about the 13th prince at all. The 13th prince suppressed the anger in his heart and asked loudly, "Who got the divine ox beast soul?" "Me," Ling Xiao said. Hearing those words, the people from the 8 Immortals Mountain had mixed feelings. They were extremely conflicted. They were happy because the 8 Immortals Mountain could continue to rule the 8 Immortal City. They were angry because once Ling Xiao became a disciple of the Arcana Academy, they couldn't do anything to him anymore. How could they take revenge? What about the Divine Emperor's inheritance? The 13th prince looked at Ling Xiao and asked again. "It's still me," Ling Xiao replied with the same indifferent voice. At this point, the situation was getting out of hand. Ling Xiao got the divine ox beast soul and the divine emperor's inheritance at the same time. Wouldn't the Arcana Academy have one less place to be a disciple? Who got the inheritance of the 9-snake general and the cold moon general? In fact, most of the royal family knew about the situation in the divine ox maze, other than the devouring demon fetus and the lightning humanoid. They even knew about the golden crow of the netherworld. Therefore, they knew about the inheritance of the 9-snake general and the cold moon general. "Us!" Lin Ruoxian and the Moon Death shouted. The 8 Immortals Mountain took it? The 13th prince was stunned for a moment. This situation was far beyond his expectations, and he was at a loss for what to do. Because this is a matter of great importance, we have to ensure the fairness of the Divine Ox Maze contest. Therefore, the winner of the Arcana Academy's position and the right to rule the 8 Immortal City will be announced the day after tomorrow. After all, the 13th prince had grown up in the royal court and was very good at scheming. He was stalling for time because he didn't want Ling Xiao and Ling Zhao's people to get the Arcana Academy's position. It was no wonder that he was angry that Ling Xiao had humiliated him. The reason why he didn't lose his temper was that he was very cautious. He was worried that Ling Xiao might have other tricks up his sleeves. Therefore, he decided to stall for time and think of a way to deal with Ling Xiao later. As long as Ling Xiao was killed in 2 days, he would have the final say in the Arcana Academy's position and the right to rule the 8 Immortal City. Ling Xiao was a smart man, and he had seen through the 13th prince's scheme. However, what was the point of scheming? In the mystic world, the only thing that mattered was power. If one was not powerful enough, no amount of scheming would work. Sometimes, one would even be caught in a trap of one's own making. "Qin Beixian, who beat you up?" Suddenly, Lin Quan questioned Qin Beixian. He wanted Qin Beixian to tell the truth. Qin Beixian pointed a trembling finger at Ling Xiao and said, "Him, Ling Xiao. Not only me, but Xiao Feng Wanyue was also crippled by him." Chapter 2560. When everyone heard Qin Beixian say that he and Xiaofeng Kenyue had been crippled by Ling Xiao, they were stunned. Words couldn't describe the shock they felt. Ling Xiao's name resounded across the entire sky, Thunder Mountain Range, and was deeply engraved in everyone's mind. He must have used some kind of trick. Someone thought to himself, how did he do it? Lin Quan asked directly. Of course, with his strength, he must have used some kind of trick. Or maybe he just bullied us with numbers. Duke Yu said loudly. No. Xiaofeng Kenyue shook his head and said it was a one-on-one battle. He didn't use any tricks, and neither did we. Although it's very unpleasant, we accept our loss wholeheartedly. That's right. Xiaofeng Kenyue is telling the truth. Qin Beixian heaved a sigh and said, if even a woman could admit defeat, as a man he couldn't hide it. What? This time, even the Duke of Yu and Qin Chongsheng were astonished. This was too inconceivable. Ling Xiao had defeated Qin Beixian and Xiaofeng Kenyue in a one-on-one battle? He had almost crippled both of them. It looks like he was telling the truth about killing Lin Yuetian. Lin Quan gritted his teeth and said, "No, Lin Yuetian tried to sneak up on him when he was weak, but he was killed by the little girl next to him." Qin Beixian explained. Everyone was shocked again. What kind of luck did Ling Xiao have? His master was so powerful that everyone was afraid of him. How could he bring out another little girl after entering the Ox God's maze? And she was so powerful. To kill Lin Yuetian in one move, one had to be at least at the peak of the 6th level of hell. Of course, no matter how terrifying the little girl was, Ling Xiao was even more terrifying. This fellow's improvement was a little too fast, wasn't it? It made him feel like he was dreaming. He went from a nobody to defeating the top 3 prodigies on the genius roll. What the hell happened to this guy? Ling Xiao didn't care about the envious and shocked looks. Right now, he was more concerned about what kind of tricks the 13th prince was going to play. It could be seen that the 13th prince did not intend to give the ruling rights of the 8 Immortals County to the 8 Immortals Mountain. Even without Ling Xiao, it would still be the same. He had come to the 8 Immortal City to support the Heavenly Wind Group and the Duke of Yu's mansion, who were the most loyal to him. You'd better not play any tricks. Otherwise, I'll make sure that you, the prince, will never return. Ling Xiao's audacity was definitely not fake. If he was pushed too far, he would definitely kill the 13th prince. All right, I don't want to interfere in your family matters. You can settle it yourselves. I'll take my leave first. The 13th prince was also thinking about how to kill Ling Xiao and take away the inheritance of the Holy Emperor of Heavenly Thunder and the divine Ox Beast Soul from Ling Xiao. His departure gave the Heavenly Wind Group, Duke Yu's residence, and the 8 Immortals Mountain chance to take revenge. He really didn't believe it. Could Ling Xiao fight against the 3 forces by himself? The moment he left, the 13th prince gave the leaders of the 3 forces a look. His meaning was very clear. They only had 2 days to live. Once the results were announced, they would no longer be able to do anything to Ling Xiao. The leaders of the 3 forces were all smart people. They naturally understood the 13th prince's intention. Therefore, when the 13th prince left, they immediately surrounded Ling Xiao and the others. Lin Quan looked coldly at Ling Xiao and said, "Brat, you even dared to offend the 13th prince. I can't help but admire your courage. But since you've offended him, you have no way to live. Today, even if I have to risk offending your master, I will kill you." "That's right. No matter who your master is. You deserve to die for crippling my favorite son." Chan Chongxing also walked out with a fierce look in his eyes. "I'll do the same." The Duke of Yu naturally wouldn't let Ling Xiao go. After all, not only did Ling Xiao cripple Xiaofeng Wanyue, he also killed his good brother, Commander Qin. This could be considered an irreconcilable grudge. Haha, it seems like everyone is prepared to die together. Actually, I have long expected this day to come. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, "But I didn't expect you to be such cowards. You only dared to do this today. I'll tell you the truth. That woman is not my master. Moreover, she has already left the 8 Immortal City for the Golden Heavenly Kingdom. She can't help me at all. You bunch of idiots have been fooled by me all this time." Without any fear, Ling Xiao no longer needed to rely on others' might. What? Hearing these words, everyone's faces alternated between red and green. They were determined to die together with Ling Xiao, but they didn't expect that Ling Xiao had been fooling them all this time. Because of a few words from Ling Xiao, they were so scared that they let this brat run amok. "Damned brat, it seems like you're prepared to be killed." Lin Quan gritted his teeth and said, although he was a little confused and didn't know why Ling Xiao suddenly told the truth. He was so angry that he didn't have time to think so much. "Ha ha ha, kill me? I don't want to die yet." Ling Xiao laughed loudly and said, "Just the likes of you bunch of 3-legged cats, and you want to kill me? Are you naive or ignorant? Humph, you're treating us like fools again. Stop bluffing." Lin Quan snorted coldly and shouted loudly, Previously, he had been fooled by Ling Xiao. How could he fall for the same trick again today? He thought about it and didn't think that Ling Xiao had anything to rely on. Therefore, he could judge that Ling Xiao was just bluffing today. Is that so? Then you can do whatever you want. However, after this battle, I'll cut off all ties with the 8 Immortals Mountain. Don't blame me for being ruthless in the future. Ling Xiao said coldly. Cut off all ties? What do you owe to the 8 Immortals Mountain? What ties? If it weren't for you, my 8 Immortals Mountain wouldn't have lost so many geniuses. You've been an enemy of my 8 Immortals Mountain since the beginning. I only hate that I didn't act earlier and eliminate you. Lin Quan roared. No gratitude? Haha, it seems that you're all very forgetful. Ling Xiao said coldly. In the past, if I hadn't discovered it in advance, the 8 Immortals County would have become a purgatory on Earth. Your 8 Immortals Mountain wouldn't have been spared. Fine, you can ignore the kindness of saving your life. You people are used to being shameless, so it's not strange. I'm too lazy to talk, let's do it. Among the 3 of us, who will go first? Lin Quan looked at Qin Chongqing and Duke Yu and asked. It was laughable. Ling Xiao had worked hard to kill the demon envoy of the Demon Shadow Sect and save the entire 8 Immortals County. He could be said to be the savior of these 3 great forces. Now, the 3 great forces wanted to join forces to kill him. It seemed that for some shameless people, repaying kindness with enmity was a common thing. This old man will go first. Chapter 2561. The Duke of Yu stepped forward and coldly looked at Ling Xiao. I remember you. You helped the 8 Immortals County before. So if you can survive one move from me, I'll give you a chance. If you can survive my attack, the grudges between my Duke of Yu's residents, and you will be written off. You want to write it off, but unfortunately, your Duke of Yu's residence is only a dog of the 13th Prince. If I want to kill him, what will you do? Ling Xiao retorted. The Duke of Yu was unable to answer this question. Although Ling Xiao's words were unpleasant to hear, they were the truth. Troublesome. Duke of Yu, since you are not willing to make a move, let me make the first move. Qin Chongsheng roared. His figure suddenly flashed, and a large hand that covered the sky appeared from the void and covered Ling Xiao. Before the wind from the palm arrived, the pressure had already descended. Ling Xiao could feel that the terrifying pressure wanted to tear his body apart. Facing this palm, Ling Xiao only smiled contemptuously. Qin Chongsheng was indeed very strong, but in front of his avatar he was just a piece of trash, not even worth mentioning. However, the current him did not intend to use the power of the little demoness, because there was no need. He suddenly raised his hand. Similarly, his palm blasted towards the large hand that covered the sky. Rumble. A deafening roar exploded in the void. Ling Xiao's leg sank into the ground. The large hand that covered the sky was completely shattered. Qin Chongsheng, who was standing in the distance, was forced back 3 to 4 steps. His body was still flowing with terrifying electricity. Another shock. Everyone was somewhat numb. This Ling Xiao was actually able to fight Qin Chongqing to a draw. No wonder he was so arrogant. This brat is a true monster. Qin Chongqing looked at Ling Xiao in shock. He was unable to understand. Before entering the Ox God's maze, Ling Xiao should not have been so strong. What was going on? Now you all understand. If I want to leave, none of you can stop me. The 3 of you together might be able to suppress me, but if you want to kill me, there's no way. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, You're old. It's the age of the young now. Damn it. Lin Quan's eyes flickered. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, Ling Xiao, if you have the guts, do you dare to fight with us outside the 8 Immortals County in 7 days? Let's each pick 2 helpers and fight to the death. The winner would obtain everything in the 8 Immortal City. The loser will either die or become the slave of the winner. What are you thinking of now? Don't tell me you're planning to go to the dragon cult to ask for reinforcements? Ling Xiao sneered. It doesn't matter. I'll give you 7 days. This is also the time for all of you to consider. After 7 days, those who obey me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. After saying that, Ling Xiao took the little demoness and flew away. As for Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death, he didn't want to implicate them, so he let them stay with the people of the 8 Immortals Mountain for the time being. Anyway, with their strength, plus the Moon Clan Elder and their magic weapons, even Lin Quan couldn't do anything to them, so he was very relieved. Seeing Ling Xiao leave so grandly, the martial artists of the 3 factions looked at each other in dismay. Lin Quan, what's your plan? Don't make a fool of yourself if you can't kill him after 7 days. That kid's strength is incomparably strong. Even I may not be able to take him down. Chen Changsheng asked. Don't worry, after 7 days, I guarantee that he will die. Lin Quan sneered and said, We'll discuss the details later. After leaving, Ling Xiao directly went to the 8 Immortal City and went to the Heavenly Dragon Trading Company. For him, this is a pure land. The 3 factions, including the Chen Kingdom's royal family, will not provoke the Heavenly Dragon Trading Company. After all, this is a true colossus. In the entire mystic world, it has a terrifying force. The shopkeeper of the Heavenly Dragon Trading Company, Lin Fengyuan, immediately prepared a good place for Ling Xiao to cultivate. He also warned everyone not to disturb him. Ling Xiao's move caused the assassination of the 13th prince to fail. Ling Xiao took advantage of this time to start cultivating the Thunder Light Shield and Heavenly Thunder Divine Guard. In 2 days, he absorbed the energy of the Purple Lightning Thunderbolt. This energy allowed his cultivation to break through to the mid-stage of the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Most of the energy was sealed in the cells of his body, becoming his great potential. Not only that, he also comprehended the Thunderlight Shield to the entry level. This is worthy of being an immortal grade first heaven martial skill. Its defensive power is incomparably strong, even if it is only entry level when facing a top-tier Jade grade martial skill. As long as it is not at the transformation stage, it will not be able to break through the defense of the Thunder Light Shield. The Heavenly Thunder Divine Guard is more troublesome to cultivate. With Ling Xiao's current cultivation, it is not easy to master. Fortunately, he has the experience of creating a doppelganger. In addition, the Sky Tyrant Martial Soul has the effect of creating a doppelganger. After some pondering, he also cultivated the Heavenly Thunder Divine Guard to the entry level. However, it is extremely difficult to go further. He temporarily stopped cultivating and went out. The 13th prince was going to announce the final result of the Ox Deity Maze. He wanted to know what the 13th prince was up to. Although the 13th prince was the representative of the Arcana Academy, he was not a high-ranking official. He would not dare to announce the results of the Arcana Academy's disciple selection. Therefore, if the 13th prince did not want Ling Xiao to be selected, he would try to stall for time. However, he still underestimated the 13th prince's courage. The 13th prince announced that Ling Xiao had broken the rules and killed innocent martial artists in the Ox Deity Maze. Therefore, everything he received was declared null and void. The ruling power of the 8 Immortals County was given to the Duke of Yu's residence. The 3 Arcana Academy's disciples were selected by the Tianfeng Group, the 8 Immortals Mountain, and the Duke of Yu's mansion. Many people from the 3 forces were very happy with this result. How could they not be happy that Ling Xiao's efforts were in vain? However, at this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on the 8 Immortals' palace. Isn't that Ling Xiao? What is he doing? Is he crazy? How dare he stand on the 8 Immortals' palace? Is he disrespecting the royal authority? While everyone was still in a state of shock, Ling Xiao suddenly threw a punch down. Terrifying lightning wrapped around the fist energy and directly hit the 8 Immortals' palace. The 8 Immortals' palace was instantly turned into ruins. The 13th prince and his followers fled in panic. How dare you, Ling Xiao? Are you really going to rebel? The 13th prince really wanted to kill Ling Xiao now. Ling Xiao didn't give him any face at all. Nonsense. You shameless bastard. Not only did you cheat for personal gains, but you also want to deprive me of my achievements. Do you really think I'm easy to bully? Ling Xiao stood in the void and looked at the three forces coldly. He said, "The three forces of the 8 Immortals County, listen up. I'll give you 5 days to think about it, which is 1 day after the final battle between me and the three forces. You'd better give me all 3 quotas and let me distribute them." Chapter 2562. Ling Xiao floated in the air. He issued his most powerful statement to the people of the 8 Immortal City and the warriors of the 3 factions. It was the most domineering declaration. Those who obey me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. As for that stupid prince, he can go wherever he wants. Does he really think that the Arcana Academy is his own? There are 14 princes in the Chen Kingdom's royal family. This guy is the most useless one, and yet he dares to come to the 8 Immortal City to show off. He's courting death. After saying that, he waved his hand. The little devil girl suddenly jumped out from behind him and raised her hands. A black light shone on the 13th prince. The 13th prince was terrified. He wanted to dodge, but he couldn't. One of his arms was melted off. Bullshit, prince, listen up. This arm is the price for your nonsense. I won't kill you today, but you'd better not talk nonsense in 5 days. After saying that, Ling Xiao turned and left. He destroyed the 8 Immortals' palace and cut off the 13th prince's arm. Then he left after saying that the 3 factions would give up 3 spots in the Arcana Academy in 5 days. This could no longer be described as domineering. It was simply lawless and arrogant. However, no one dared to laugh at him. No one thought that it was impossible. They saw with their own eyes that the little girl behind Ling Xiao, who was only 7 or 8 years old, cut off the 13th prince's arm. This was not an illusion. They also saw Ling Xiao destroy the entire 8 Immortals' palace with 1 punch. Without great strength, this was absolutely impossible. They believed that this news would soon spread throughout the 8 Immortal City, and even the nearby towns, the provincial capital, and even the royal capital. Therefore, the battle between Ling Xiao and the 3 factions would be decisive on the 5th day from now. If Ling Xiao won, the 13th prince would have no way out. If the 3 factions won, Ling Xiao would definitely die. This was such a thrilling battle. Those who were not involved were excited. They were looking forward to this battle. As for the people from the 3 great powers, they were deeply worried and incomparably furious. Eliminate this thief and defend the royal power. Defend the orthodoxy. Defend the dignity of the 3 great forces. The martial artists of the 3 major factions suddenly erupted with towering fury. It roared crazily. The fact that Ling Xiao dared to humiliate them in such a manner was truly intolerable. I give you the authority to kill Ling Xiao by all means. The 13th prince endured the pain and humiliation and issued the most furious order. He came to the 8 Immortals County to show his royal power, to show both power and kindness. But now his face was completely ruined by Ling Xiao. He had become a joke. If he returned to the imperial city like this, he would definitely be laughed to death by his brothers and sisters. He couldn't tolerate it. He could tolerate anything, but not this. The royal family is not something you can provoke. Ling Xiao, the frog at the bottom of the well, you will pay the heaviest price in this world. The 13th prince gritted his teeth, his eyes filled with madness, and returned to the imperial city. I don't want anything else. I just want Ling Xiao to die. You can find anyone. As long as they can kill Ling Xiao, I will make you the ruler of the 8 Immortals County. He looked behind him and said in the coldest voice, "Yes, your majesty," and turned and left. He also wanted Ling Xiao to die. But he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to do it alone, so he waited for the 13th prince's order. The 13th prince had taken in some heroes of the underworld. Any one of these people would be a giant in the Eight Immortals County. As long as these people helped, Ling Xiao wouldn't be able to live. Ling Xiao didn't care about the outside world. After his outburst in the Eighth Immortals Palace, he returned to the secret room of the Heavenly Dragon Trading Company and continued to cultivate. In terms of cultivation, he didn't need to continue to improve. If he improved too quickly, it would easily cause his foundation to be unstable. What he needed now was stability. In terms of martial skills, he urgently needed to continue cultivating the Thunder Light Shield, Heavenly Thunder Divine Guard, and Dark Shadow martial arts. He had already cultivated the top-tier Jade Grade Dark Shadow martial arts, Yin-Yang Destruction, to the Transformation Realm. Next, he began to cultivate the top-tier Jade Grade Dark Shadow martial arts, Ghost Destroying King. What surprised Ling Xiao was that when the Black Demon Sword and Black Immortal Sword recognized him as their master, they became his weapons. Not only did the two weapons level up, they reached the level of common Grade Emperor weapons. Above treasure weapons were spiritual weapons. Above spiritual weapons were Emperor weapons. A common Grade Emperor artifact was much more valuable than a divine Grade Spirit artifact. Moreover, as the two weapons leveled up, Ling Xiao discovered that there were more moves in the Dark Shadow martial arts. These moves had reached the first heaven of Immortal Grade. The strongest move had reached the second heaven of Immortal Grade. This simply made him overjoyed. In order to hone his martial skills, the little devil girl became Ling Xiao's best opponent. Ling Xiao was ruthless to himself. The little devil girl had injured him several times. Fortunately, Ling Xiao spent a day to refine the blood spirit fruit into 100 blood spirit pills. Otherwise, it would be troublesome. It was this kind of desperate training. On the last day, he had completely mastered the 9 forms of the wolf galloping 1,000 miles. The wolf galloping 1,000 miles was obviously a top-tier Jade Grade martial arts. But the last 2 forms were top-tier Jade Grade martial arts. This also explained why these 2 forms were harder to cultivate than the others. As for the Dark Shadow martial arts, Ling Xiao had completely mastered all the Jade Grade martial arts and below. Moreover, the inferior, ordinary, good, and outstanding moves had all been cultivated to the Transformation Realm. Only the Supreme Grade martial arts was still at the Great Perfection Realm. However, Ling Xiao believed that with his current mastery of these moves, he would not be at the bottom even if he went to the Royal City, not to mention the 8 Immortal City. The tempering of his martial skills also allowed Ling Xiao's cultivation to make subtle breakthroughs. He had reached the middle stage of the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Perhaps this was what they meant by a well-intentioned flower does not bloom, but a well-intentioned willow grows. As for the Thunder Light Shield and Heavenly Thunder Divine Guard, they were still at the entry level and could not be improved. It seemed that his cultivation was still too low. The level of the martial arts was too high, and he could not cultivate it in a short time. Ling Xiao was not in a hurry. Anyway, he did not need these 2 moves to deal with the enemy for the time being. After coming out of the secret room, Ling Xiao washed up a little. Then he met Lin Fengyuan, Lin Ruoxian, Moon Death, Lin Yang, and the others who came to visit him and had a meal. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death had also broken through. They were now martial artists of the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. After all, the 2 of them had obtained powerful inheritances in the Ox God's maze. It was normal for their breakthroughs to be faster. In the future, they might not be able to compare to the madman Ling Xiao. But at the current stage, with this kind of cultivation, they would be of great help to Ling Xiao. Chapter 2563. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death were given to them by Ling Xiao. Even their lives were saved by Ling Xiao. They could not abandon Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao thought about it and decided that it did not matter. After today's battle, Either he would die or the 8 Immortal City would become Ling Xiao's territory. From now on, he would have the final say here. Those who supported him would not be bullied anymore. Every dog has its day. Perhaps even Ling Xiao himself did not expect this. A few months ago, when he came to the 8 Immortal City, he was still an unknown pawn. But now, he had become a big boss feared by many people. The 3 great forces had joined forces just to deal with him. Under Ling Xiao's instructions, the Heavenly Dragon Trading Company had publicized this matter. Therefore, on this day, not only the warriors of the 8 Immortal City, but also the warriors of the nearby counties, provincial cities, and even the royal capital came to the 8 Immortal City. The location of the battle was chosen outside the 8 Immortal City. Ling Xiao did not want to destroy the city. After all, he would need it in the future. There was a huge open space outside the city. This was the location of the battle. At this moment, the nearby trees were filled with warriors from all over the place. Now, even the lowest level of the people in the 8 Immortal City knew of Ling Xiao's name. He was both good and evil. He had destroyed the Devil's Shadow sect and injured the 13th prince. Although they did not know whether Ling Xiao was a good person or a bad person, they were certain that Ling Xiao was now so powerful that the 3 great forces had to join forces to deal with him. Of course, martial artists who came from other places were not very familiar with the name Ling Xiao. Who is this Ling Xiao? What ability does he have? He dared to cut off the 13th prince's arm? And he wants to be an enemy of the 3 great forces? Is he an old monster who has lived for thousands of years? But I have never heard of such a person. I only know that the strongest person in the 8 Immortal City is the leader of the Heavenly Wind Group, Qin Changsheng. What is Ling Xiao? What 1,000-year-old monster? Ling Xiao is just a warrior who has reincarnated once. He is not even 20 years old this year. In the Black Tortoise continent, reincarnating once is not rare. If this Ling Xiao can really defeat the 3 great forces at such a young age, then I'm afraid that even the royal family of the Qin Kingdom will do their best to recruit this monster into their family. Can he really defeat them? Why do I feel like this is a hype? Hype? Are you kidding me? How dare he destroy the royal palace? How dare he cut off the 13th prince's arm? There was an endless stream of the Immortal City. The Immortal City was not to the Immortal City, was not to Immortal City. In the sky, a huge flying sword ship finally appeared. The 13th prince sat at the bow of the ship, and there were dozens of attendants standing behind him. It was obvious that they had been transferred from the royal city. The 13th prince was attacked. This was a big matter. He did not want to give Ling Xiao a second chance. And Pa, is everything ready? The 13th prince did not turn his head. He just looked coldly at the battlefield below and asked, "Don't worry, Your Highness. We have already set up an inescapable net. Even if Ling Xiao can really defeat the leaders of the 3 great forces, he will not be able to escape death. Your revenge will be avenged." And Pa said confidently, "Well, that's good. Anyone who dares to go against me will not have a good ending." The 13th prince muttered, and his face turned gloomy. "I'm afraid that kid will not dare to come." And Pa frowned and said, "Don't worry, he will definitely come. Although we have only met a few times, I know that kid's temper very well." The 13th prince gritted his teeth. Ling Xiao had to come. If he did not come, wouldn't the inescapable net he had set up be in vain? At this moment, the leaders of the 3 great forces had already arrived, and the higher-ups had also arrived. For this battle, the 3 great forces had almost turned out in full force. Only a few warriors were left to guard the gate, and they were not very strong. However, he believed that no one would dare to take advantage of this situation. After all, not everyone was crazy enough to not give face to the 13th prince. "Father, everything you asked for is ready. But is it really necessary to deal with that kid?" Qian Xianfeng could not help but ask from the Heavenly Wind Group, "You still dare to underestimate your opponent at this time?" Don't forget that I fought him to a draw at Sky Thunder Mountain, although I did not use my full strength at that time. But that kid's growth is really terrifying. It has been 6 days since that day, and this is the 7th day. I'm afraid that his strength has still increased. At this time, we can't hide anything. Otherwise, we will be courting death. Qin Chongxing would not underestimate Ling Xiao. He would not underestimate any enemy. The Duke of Yu and Lin Quan were the same. They were prepared to fight to the death with Ling Xiao. Naturally, they would use all their strength. This included some pills, magical treasures, and so on. Anyway, there were no rules about what could not be used in this battle. As long as they could kill Ling Xiao, they would be considered the winner. Leader, that kid knows that we have a trump card. Will he really come to die? The Dark Tribe Elder sat behind Lin Quan and asked, He will come. Listen up. If the 3 of us cannot kill him, there's no need to care about the rules of Jianghu. Just attack him together. Kill him, and we will be the winner. Right now, Lin Quan only wanted to avenge his son. Therefore, he did not care about the rules at all. Yes, the Dark Tribe Elder and the Sand Tribe Elder hated Ling Xiao to the core. They could not wait to tear Ling Xiao into pieces. Therefore, they would naturally listen to Lin Quan. In other words, even if Ling Xiao won today, he would die. If he lost, he would die. Today, this place would be Ling Xiao's death. I hate that I did not use all means to kill him back then. Otherwise, today would not have happened. Lin Quan was most annoyed that he did not take Ling Xiao seriously back then. He always thought that his son, Lin Yuetian, would be able to solve everything. All he needed to do was to focus on seclusion. But he never expected that Ling Xiao would grow so quickly. They are here. All of a sudden, someone shouted. In the sky, 2 figures flew over. It was Ling Xiao and the little devil girl, who were also Ling Xiao's avatars. As for the Lin Ruoxian Moon Death and the people of the Moon Clan, they were arranged to be on the periphery. Ling Xiao was not stupid. He knew that many people wanted him dead today, but he did not want to die. He wanted to anger these bastards to death. Not only that, but before he came here, he had already rescued Elder Shui and subdued the prisoners in the ghost prison through force. At this time, the 8 Immortal Mountain was already occupied by his people. The Tianfeng group and Duke Yu's residence were also under attack. Chapter 2564. He's here. That great devil is really here. Seeing Ling Xiao and the little devil appear in the distant sky, countless people exclaimed. Perhaps in their opinion, a person who dared to go against the 3 great factions must be a great devil. It didn't sound like much, but thinking carefully, this guy was going against the 3 most powerful factions of the 8 Immortals County. And this enemy even included the 13th Prince. The heads of the 3 great factions were the strongest in the 8 Immortals County. Could this young man, who was not even 20 years old, really do it? Countless people stared at this person with countless eyes. This person might become a joke, or a young man who might become a legend. To be able to make the 3 great factions pay so much attention to him, he must have something special. Even if he dies here, he will become a legend. If he can win, he will really become a legend. Among the onlookers, there were actually many people who supported Ling Xiao. Perhaps because they had been suppressed by the 3 great factions for too long, they really needed someone who dared to challenge their authority. When the people of the 3 great factions saw Ling Xiao, their eyes were filled with indifference and anger. Of course, there were also some who supported Ling Xiao, but at this time they were not present. They were helping Ling Xiao to change the world. Only 2 people came? Is he going to fight 2 against 3? Lin Quan stood up. At this time, he was unable to calm down. In the past few days, there was not a day when he didn't think about how to kill Ling Xiao. Today, the opportunity had finally arrived. If he really only brought 1 person, how should we split the spoils? Qin Chongxing asked. I will deal with Ling Xiao. You 2 kill that little girl. That little girl's strength is probably much stronger than Ling Xiao. It's better to be careful. Don't forget, she is not an ordinary little girl. She is the one who cut off the 13th prince's arm with one move. Lin Quan said, Well, we will do as you say. Quickly kill Ling Xiao. Then the three of us will join hands to kill that little girl. Although Chen Chongsheng also wanted to kill Ling Xiao with his own hands, now was definitely not the time to fight over this. I also agree. The Duke of Yu also nodded. The three of them concluded their discussion. He stood proudly in the void. Ling Xiao looked down at the land. The gazes of tens of thousands of people were all focused on him. Although he was already used to this kind of thing, he didn't feel too surprised. However, when he thought about it carefully, he realized that for this day, for the day when he could completely surpass everyone in the 8 Immortals County, he had experienced many life and death situations. There were a few times when he almost died, and now he had finally reached the final step. With this step, he would completely defeat the three forces and brand the 8 Immortals County with his name, Ling Xiao. The reason why he made such a big deal out of it was to let the Arcana Academy, which was far away in the capital, know about it. How powerful was Ling Xiao? If he was recruited as a disciple, it would only benefit the Arcana Academy. He believed that people were greedy, especially those princes who wanted to fight for the throne. Among the crowd, in an inconspicuous carriage, a man and a woman sat in the carriage, looking at Ling Xiao in the sky. The man was gentle and elegant, while the woman was beautiful and generous. Both of them radiated the light of alertness and wisdom. Min, or what do you think? The man suddenly asked. Your Highness, originally, Minner didn't quite understand why you came all the way to this remote place. However, after seeing Ling Xiao today, Minner understands. The woman smiled and said, Her name was Hong Min. She wasn't this prince's woman, but his strategist. A female strategist who is sharp-witted and vicious. Don't call me your Highness outside. Just call me Kanglin. The one who spoke was the second prince of the Qin nation, Chen Kanglin. The sage king who was known for his wisdom, had a good reputation in the Qin nation. Min doesn't dare. I'll just call you young master. Hong Min smiled and said, Fine. Then why don't you tell this young master why I came here? The second prince, Qin Kanglin, asked with a smile. This Ling Xiao is definitely not an ordinary martial artist. If you can recruit him, he will definitely be of great help to you. The 13th prince is too reckless. He wanted to show Ling Xiao who he is the moment he arrived at the 8 Immortal City. However, he ended up becoming his enemy instead. Young master, you are wise. Hong Min replied. However, this Ling Xiao is definitely not an ordinary person. Normal recruitment methods won't be able to subdue him. Qin Kanglin said with a smile, You can't subdue him. You can only befriend him. Hong Min shook her head and said, Young master, that's probably your plan too. For someone like him, no matter how much you give him, he won't be willing to live under someone else's roof. Therefore, the best method is to befriend him. Rather than befriend him, if you have any difficulties, he will definitely help you. Ha 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 ha, great minds think alike. The 13th prince is an idiot. He messed up this time. With his cultivation and strategy, he dares to try and compete with me and the 14th prince. He's really courting death. Qin Kanglin laughed and had already decided on a plan. Ling Xiao might be in trouble today. When it's time to strike, let's do it. Let him owe us a favor first. Min understands. I've already made the arrangements. Hong Min smiled. The two of them stopped talking and continued to look out of the window. They were also very interested in how Ling Xiao would fight against the three sect leaders. Ling Xiao looked at the three sect leaders and said with a smile, The three of you aren't afraid at all. However, before the battle, I have something to ask. Are you guys still not planning to hand over the 3 spots to become disciples of the Arcana Academy? Cut the crap. Kill the three of us if you can, and the 3 spots will naturally belong to you. Lin Kuan said angrily. Good. You have guts. Unfortunately, guts are worthless at this time. Since the 3 of you are so stubborn, don't blame me, Ling Xiao, for being ruthless. Ling Xiao sneered, his eyes intentionally or unintentionally glancing at the carriage in the crowd. What a strong aura. Although it's obviously hidden, it still can't escape my Tai Chi eye. Is it a friend or a foe? It doesn't seem like it's hostile. Ling Xiao frowned and then relaxed. It didn't matter if it was a friend or a foe in the carriage. Since he dared to come here today, he wasn't afraid that the other party would call for help. Good lad. He seems to have noticed us. Chen Kanglin was also surprised. He had cultivated a special martial art that could almost completely hide his aura. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to notice something. However, he believed that Ling Xiao didn't see everything. This means that he is a talent. If you befriend him, he will definitely become a sharp weapon for you. Hong Min smiled. Okay. Chen Kanglin nodded and had more expectations for Ling Xiao. The 13th brother offended Ling Xiao. The 14th brother disdained Ling Xiao. Chapter 25:65. Today's battle is between the 2 of us and the 3 of you. Let's begin. Ling Xiao and the little demoness landed on the ground and gestured towards their opponents. His actions were meant to humiliate him. Who would dare to act like this in front of the 3 great sect leaders? Those who had done so would probably have their bones turned into ashes. Humph, sharp tongue. The 3 great sect leaders were indeed worthy of being the 3 great sect leaders. They didn't care about Ling Xiao's provocation. The 3 of them walked out from their seats and stood opposite of Ling Xiao and the little demoness. I suddenly feel that Lin Kuan's proposal is a bit problematic. Qin Changsheng looked at Ling Xiao and revealed a cold, killing intent. Why don't I and Lin Kuan join hands to deal with Ling Xiao? Duke of you delay the little girl. There's no need to fight. Just delay her. Wait for Lin Kuan and I to kill Ling Xiao, then we'll help you. Ling Xiao's strength is definitely not as good as that little girl. If we join hands, killing him will be very easy. Good idea. Lin Kuan and Duke of Yu heard this and felt that this idea was very good. If Lin Kuan and Qin Changsheng joined hands to deal with Ling Xiao, then they might be able to kill Ling Xiao in one move. The following battle would be much easier. Thus, the original plan was changed slightly, and the main target to kill was Ling Xiao. Brat, if you have any last words, it's best to say it now. Otherwise, you won't have the chance later. Lin Kuan looked at Ling Xiao sinisterly and said, Last words? The ones who should say last words are you. I don't need to because I can't lose. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Arrogant. Facing the 3 great sect leaders, he was still so arrogant. This made many people feel that Ling Xiao was a bit too arrogant. Whether I'm arrogant or not, we'll know after fighting. Little demoness, don't make a move first. Fight to the side and watch. I'll deal with the 3 of them alone. Ling Xiao laughed and took a step forward. The little demoness flew into the sky. She really wanted to watch the battle. You're looking down on me. Ling Xiao's actions didn't seem like a problem to him, but to the 3 sect leaders it was a big problem. It was simply an extreme disdain for them. Their original plan was ruined in an instant. What should we do? Do the 3 of us really have to join hands to deal with this brat? The Duke of Yu frowned. He's the one courting death, so he can't blame us. Duke of Yu, don't forget that this isn't a spar, but a matter that concerns the survival of our 3 factions. If he wins, our 3 major forces will definitely be finished. At this time, don't be soft-hearted. Lin Kuan said. That's right. Duke of Yu, you have to think carefully. Your daughter is still lying on the sickbed. Chen Changsheng also said coldly. Forget it. Let's work together. The Duke of Yu no longer hesitated. The 3 of them stood apart. He stared at Ling Xiao. Make your move. Today, Let me see the true strength of the three sect leaders. After saying that, Ling Xiao's body began to transform. It was not easy to fight 1 against 3, so Ling Xiao immediately entered the beast soul transformation state. At first, he chose the beast soul transformation of the Tyrant blood demonic dragon. This beast soul had little effect on him now. It could be said that it was almost non-existent. However, the special skill of the Tyrant blood demonic dragon was a killing move. It would still be very useful. The aura of the three sect leaders instantly soared. The aura of the peak of the 7th level of hell of the Yin-Yang realm made countless spectators cheer. They had never seen such powerful martial artists fighting in the 8 immortal city. Today, they could finally broaden their horizons. Facing these 3 powerful martial artists, would Ling Xiao really have a chance? Beast martial artists are indeed very special. However, you're courting death by fighting 1 against 3. You can't blame us. Go. The 3 sect leaders suddenly made their moves. Each of them used their ultimate skills and surrounded Ling Xiao from different directions. It's over. The 13th prince sneered and said, if that demoness doesn't help, Ling Xiao is dead meat. Even you and Pa wouldn't dare to fight the 3 sect leaders together? Your Highness is right. This brat Ling Xiao is purely seeking his own death. And Pa replied, they were not the only ones who thought so. Most of the spectators also thought so. They felt that Ling Xiao was too arrogant and had underestimated his opponent, which was why he had made such a stupid mistake. He'll probably ask that demoness for help. The second prince, Chun Kanglin, also came to the same conclusion. Yes, otherwise Min-Er can't see how Ling Xiao can win. Hong Min-Er was also puzzled. Ling Xiao's sudden move stunned everyone. Demonic dragon, blood curse. At that moment, the 3 sect leaders were less than a foot away from Ling Xiao. A strange red light suddenly burst out from Ling Xiao's body. The 3 sect leaders suddenly felt their breaths stagnate and their qi and blood churn. Even the qi and blood in their blood vessels seemed to want to leave their bodies and flow toward Ling Xiao. Because it happened so suddenly, the 3 of them did not have time to react. The move that they had formed collapsed instantly. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Ling Xiao suddenly attacked. Because the opportunity was fleeting, Ling Xiao did not have time to use any other moves. He only used a normal attack and clawed at each of them. Then, the spectators were shocked to see that the 3 sect leaders were sent flying by Ling Xiao. However, no one noticed that an undetectable electric current had entered the bodies of the 3 sect leaders. No matter what Ling Xiao did, he would not do it for no reason. The reason why he had used the Tyrannosaurus blood demonic dragon was that he wanted to implant some immortal thunder into the 3 of them. On the other hand, he wanted to use the terrifying pressure from the 3 experts to stimulate the potential in his body so that he could break through again. To be honest, in terms of absolute strength, Ling Xiao was not afraid of any of the 3 in a one-on-one. However, if the 3 of them worked together, it would be very troublesome. Therefore, in order to win, he had to do something. Ha ha ha! The 3 of you, is this your ultimate move? It's really not bad. But facing backward, wild goose landing style. Ling Xiao did not chase after them because he knew that it would be useless. The 3 of them would definitely not be seriously injured after being hit by him. After all, the 3 of them had all kinds of Dharma treasures on them. Defensive Dharma treasures, offensive Dharma treasures, support Dharma treasures. They had everything. In order to deal with Ling Xiao, the 3 of them had put in a lot of effort. Good boy. No wonder you could cripple Waning Moon and Beixian. With your strength, you really can't hold it in anymore. Chun Changsheng looked at Ling Xiao. His eyes almost narrowed into slits. He also did not expect such a start. Ling Xiao, this brat, was too strange and too difficult to deal with. This guy's moves were really hard to guard against. Looking at Ling Xiao, the 3 sect leaders suddenly had the illusion that the person standing there was not a young man, less than 20 years old. Instead, he was a real demon, a demon who played tricks on people. Chapter 2566. Did you notice that this guy has the aura of a beast god? Lin Kuan asked with a frown. Impossible. The 12 beast gods died in battle tens of thousands of years ago. How can he have the aura of a beast god? Are you hallucinating? Chun Changxing said, Perhaps, but the three of us have to be careful. It's fine if we lose face, but it's not fun if we lose our lives. Lin Kuan reminded, Use your martial souls. The three sect masters didn't use their martial souls in their previous attacks, so they weren't strong enough. It was also because they looked down on Ling Xiao and thought that Ling Xiao wouldn't be able to take a single hit from them. But now their mentality had changed. They really treated Ling Xiao as a demon, a boss. Although they didn't want to admit it, it was the truth. They had no choice but to admit it. Okay. Moon howling, heavenly wolf king, demonic dragon, gold-armored god. The three sect masters released their martial souls at the same time. The huge and ferocious heavenly wolf king, the roaring demonic dragon, and the mighty gold-armored god. They immediately attracted everyone's attention. But Ling Zhao's eyes were fixed on Lin Kuan's demonic dragon. His tyrant blood demonic dragon's level was too low, but if it could devour a stronger demonic dragon, it could level up. In that case, the might of the demon dragon blood curse would definitely become even stronger. He really had to thank Lin Kuan for giving him such a powerful martial soul. To be able to force the three sect masters to release their martial souls. This Ling Xiao should be proud even if he dies. Everyone couldn't help but sigh. At this moment, Ling Xiao changed his form again. Black-striped, flying tiger, beast soul, transformation. The black-striped flying tiger was currently the most suitable beast soul for Ling Xiao. It could unleash its full power. But unfortunately, this deity position didn't have a beast god beast soul, so its power couldn't compare to the purple lightning bull deity position of the ox god. Ling Xiao used the black-striped flying tiger beast soul transformation to weaken his opponents and take advantage of its powerful special skill. Kill. The three sect masters attacked at the same time again. This time, they were very careful to guard against Ling Zhao's strange move. They paid attention to the changes in their qi and blood, as well as the changes in their inner strength. The only thing he forgot was that he didn't shield his ears. Black-striped flying tiger, tiger's roar. Ling Xiao suddenly transformed into a huge black-striped flying tiger. He opened his bloody mouth and let out a loud roar. The moment this roar rang out, the three sect leaders were simultaneously thwarted. He hurriedly covered his ears. The move that he had prepared was once again disintegrated. The terrifying sound waves blasted them away, and they were once again pushed back to their original position. It's the second time. You three sect leaders really know how to show respect to the three great forces. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Damn it, where did this guy get so many strange moves? Lin Kuan, Chun Changxing, and the Duke of Yu were all depressed. However, the damage of this move is limited. Including the previous move, it doesn't seem to have done much damage to us. The Duke of Yu frowned. No, magic treasure. This guy is weakening our defensive magic treasure. Lin Kuan suddenly exclaimed. Generally, defensive magic treasures have a limit to the number of times they can defend. Ling Zhao's 2 consecutive attacks clearly had this purpose. Otherwise, if he let these guys wear such magic treasures to deal with him, he would really have a headache. Damn it, we clearly know this is his purpose, but we can't do anything about it. Chun Changxing was depressed. Their defensive magic treasures can be considered good, but in a battle, being able to block 6 attacks is already not bad. If they want to use it again, they have to recharge it. This has already been wasted twice. Take off our defensive magic treasure? No, isn't that kid's purpose? Forget it. I don't believe that he has a similar move. Lin Kuan shook his head. Forget it. Let's continue attacking. Since there is no other way, they can only continue. For the third time, Ling Xiao used the Black Wolf General's Black Wolf pack attack. Combined with his ingenious movement, Ling Xiao made the three sect leaders suffer again. For the fourth time, Ling Xiao transformed into the Nine-Snake General and used the Nine-Snake Poison Domain. This move was even more terrifying. It directly used up 2 defensive chances of the 3 sect leaders' defensive magic treasures. After all, the poison fog is different from other attacks. The continuous damage is still very scary. For the 5th time, Ling Xiao finally transformed into the strongest purple lightning bull and used the move Shaking the Earth. Not only did it make the 3 sect leaders dizzy, it also took the opportunity to completely destroy the 3 sect leaders' defensive magic treasures. Okay, now we can fight without worry. Ling Xiao coldly smiled and suddenly pounced towards Lin Kuan. He wants Lin Kuan's demon dragon martial spirit. Moreover, in a one versus many situation, the biggest taboo is to be led by the nose. He wants to lead the opponent by the nose. In midair, Ling Xiao took out the white jade flying dragon sword. Eastern purple chi sword, 1 sword to the west, 1 sword to destroy. 2 consecutive moves attacked Lin Kuan at the same time. After the breakthrough in cultivation, the power of Ling Xiao's martial skills naturally increased. The white jade flying dragon sword in his hand transformed into a huge purple sword and attacked Lin Kuan. The Duke of Yu and Qin Chongsheng naturally wouldn't just watch Ling Xiao attack Lin Kuan, so they attacked Ling Xiao from the side. The wolf travels 1,000 miles. Wolf pack attack. Ling Xiao had long been prepared for this. His figure suddenly turned into dozens of figures. In a short period of time, it was impossible to determine which one was real. Seeing such an exciting scene, everyone cheered. Originally, they thought that Ling Xiao was just a guy who was bluffing. But in the previous 5 times, he had made the 3 sect leaders suffer losses. Next, he actually took the initiative to attack. With such courage, such terrifying strength, who would dare to look down on him? Damn it! Do you really think I, Lin Kuan, am a soft persimmon? Lin Kuan was furious. This Ling Xiao actually rushed towards him. Didn't that mean that he was weaker than the other 2? A sharp sword appeared in his hand. This was the sect leader's sword of the 8 Immortals Mountain, 8 Immortals Sword. The quality was exactly the same as the 8 magic weapons, divine grade spirit artifact. If it wasn't to eliminate Ling Xiao, Lin Kuan wouldn't have taken this thing out. The 8 Immortals Sword, full name of the 8 Immortals Ancestor Sword, was the first treasure sword refined by the 8 Immortals Ancestor. It was also the sword that the 8 Immortals Ancestor carried throughout his life. Originally, this thing existed as a symbol of the sect. Now that Lin Kuan took it out to fight, it was enough to show that Lin Kuan valued Ling Xiao. Or perhaps it was fear. Once the divine grade spirit artifact was taken out. In addition, Lin Kuan's terrifying strength was not weak. For a moment, sword chi surged and dozens of wolf shadows were destroyed in an instant. This guy has a lot of good things on him. It just so happens that my Black Immortal Sword and Black Demon Sword have advanced and can't be used for the time being. Your 8 Immortals Sword is mine. Seeing Lin Kuan's move, Ling Xiao not only was not afraid, but also did not retreat. Instead, he revealed a surprised expression. Chapter 2567 Demonic Dragon Martial Art Demon Crystal Shatter Kill. Lin Kuan's move was finally unleashed. The terrifying sword aura pierced through the 8 immortal swords and pierced toward Ling Xiao. In the void, it was as though a demonic dragon had appeared. It roared ferociously. Die. Kaboom! Ling Xiao and Lin Kuan's weapons clashed in the air, and an earth-shattering explosion erupted. Many warriors in the vicinity were sent flying by the blast. The scene was chaotic. Many people who were standing on the trees to watch the show lost their footing because the trees were uprooted. They were in a sorry state. How is it? How is it? Is Sect Master Lin dead or Ling Xiao dead? Even though they were in a sorry state, someone still couldn't help but ask with a mouth full of sand. The weirdest thing was that someone actually understood what he was asking. Who knows? Don't you see how messy the scene is? Dead. Who's dead? Sect Master Lin. Lin Quan is dead. Finally, someone managed to see the situation on the battlefield. Lin Quan was lying on the ground, motionless. There was no part of his body that was intact. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao was fighting Qin Chongqing and the Duke of Yu. The three of them were locked in a fierce battle. Although he had taken advantage of Lin Quan's carelessness to launch a sneak attack, he was forced back into the battle by Qin Chongqing and the Duke of Yu before he could confirm whether Lin Quan was dead or not. Qin Chongqing had already used his beast soul transformation. His heavenly wolf transformation was much stronger than Qin Beishuan's. There was a strange king character on the wolf's head. It meant that the Howling Moon Wolf Beast Soul was the Heavenly Wolf King's beast soul and was different from ordinary heavenly wolves. The Duke of Yu had also transformed into the Golden Armor God. Not only did he look younger and taller, but he also wielded a three-pointed double-edged sword. He wielded it with great vigor, which made Ling Xiao very uncomfortable. The most troublesome thing was that both Qin Chongqing and the Duke of Yu's weapons were divine grade spirit artifacts. On the other hand, Ling Xiao's white jade flying dragon sword was only an immortal grade spirit weapon. Naturally, it was inferior in terms of weapons, because the black immortal sword and black demon sword had been upgraded to emperor weapons. Ling Xiao's cultivation had to be at least at the first Revolution 10 levels of hell before he could use them. At this stage, the most suitable weapon was a divine tier spiritual artifact. Thinking of this, he glanced at Lin Quan, who was lying on the ground. I can't care about that anymore. Whether that old bastard is dead or alive, I must obtain that 8 immortal sword. Otherwise, it will be troublesome to deal with Qin Chongqing and the Duke of Yu, who are serious. With just a thought, the little demoness had already landed. That speed was much faster than Ling Xiao's. In an instant, he was already in front of Lin Quan. Right at this moment, Lin Quan's body suddenly erupted with an astonishing amount of death qi. It was as if the souls of tens of thousands of people had rushed out of his body and attacked the little demoness. Ling Xiao was so shocked that he broke out in cold sweat. If Lin Quan had attacked him instead of the little demoness, he would have been dead. This old thing was really cunning. He even learned how to play dead. But what the hell were these souls that filled the sky? How many people did he kill? The little demoness wasn't injured. Her strength was much higher than Lin Quan's. Even if she was ambushed, she was still safe and sound. Not only that, she easily snatched the 8 Immortals' sword from Lin Quan and gave it to Ling Xiao. Brat, you're really shameless. Didn't you say it was 1 against 3? Qin Chongqing scolded. Damn, you really have the face to call me shameless. You're the dignified sect leader of the Heavenly Wind Group, the #1 expert of the 8 Immortals County. Don't you feel shameless for joining forces with 2 other sect leaders to deal with me? What's more, look carefully. My little demoness didn't attack. She only snatched a piece of equipment. Ling Xiao was really impressed by Qin Chongqing. This old thing could actually say such words. He was really shameless. Ah, Ling Xiao, you deserve to die, you deserve to die. Lin Quan's body flew up, and the countless vengeful spirits poured into his body. His body began to transform into a true demonic dragon. His body grew bigger and bigger. Finally, he grew to a height of more than 10 meters. The huge body stepped on the ground, causing the surrounding martial artists to be terrified. The demon dragon's mouth burst out with a hateful voice. Originally, Lin Quan didn't plan to use this move. because once he used this move, his relationship with the dragon cult would be impossible to sever. As long as one had a brain, they would know that he had been cultivating the evil arts of the dragon cult all along. And the most frightening thing was that he was using the souls of 8 Immortals Mountain's disciples. TSK, this is the sect leader of 8 Immortals Mountain, the Dark Tribe's elder, the Sand Tribe's elder. Open your dog eyes and see what kind of dog you're serving. Ling Xiao, facing the joint attack of Chen Changsheng and Dukyu, was still able to divert his attention to ridicule the higher-ups of 8 Immortals Mountain. This could only mean one thing. Chen Changsheng and Dukyu's attacks were still not strong enough. I'm sorry, I don't have the time to waste with you two. Lose. With the 8 Immortals' sword in hand, Ling Xiao's battle prowess increased explosively under the beast soul transformation of the purple lightning bull. He suddenly used his most powerful secret technique, Berserk Thunder Art. Lightning Battle Physique Enhancement, Undying Lightning Enhancement, Purple Lightning Bull Beast Soul Enhancement. Ling Xiao had even used the 108 Thunder Fire Mangoes to create a formation, using them to support his powerful move. The terrifying lightning engulfed the moon, Howling, Heavenly Wolf, and the Golden Armored God. The power of this attack caused even the second prince, who was in the carriage, to frown. Ling Xiao gave him too much of a surprise. Rumble. The divine lightning struck Qin Changsheng and Dukyu, causing them to lie on the ground. The little demoness hands suddenly released 2 balls of pitch-black light, covering the two's heavily injured bodies. This caused them to be unable to break free, and their inner strength was constantly being consumed. Actually, Ling Xiao was being too careful. He was afraid that the 2 fellows would play dead, so he had his avatar do this. One must know that his Berserk Thunder Art was too powerful. The 2 of them immediately fainted, and it was estimated that they would not wake up for a while. Even if they woke up, they would be heavily injured. It would be impossible for them to attack again. However, Ling Xiao didn't want any accidents to happen. He needed to focus on dealing with Lin Quan. Lin Quan was an absolute surprise. No wonder this guy always felt that he could kill him. It turned out that he still had such a terrifying trump card. Roar! The demonic dragon roared and spat out a terrifying dragon's extinguishment. The entire battlefield became a world of dragons' extinguishment. If it wasn't for the little demoness blacklight, Qin Changsheng and Duke, you would have been killed by the demonic dragon. Perhaps stimulated by this terrifying power, the 2 of them slowly opened their eyes. Although they were still unable to move, they didn't know what to say when they saw this shocking scene. The person they thought was their enemy saved them. The person they thought they could ally with wanted to kill them. Chapter 2568. At this moment, Chen Changsheng had already lost his will to fight. The Duke of Yu didn't need to be mentioned. He didn't approve of the 3 of them dealing with Ling Xiao, but he also didn't want to hand over the Arcana Academy's quota. But after this incident, he was ready to give up. If he wasn't strong enough, then he would admit defeat. There was nothing he could do about it. Although Xiao Feng Songyu was crippled, with the Duke of Yu's ability he could still recover. He had to thank Ling Xiao for not killing him. Chen Changsheng wasn't as free and easy as he was. But at this moment, after seeing Ling Xiao's powerful fighting strength and the terror of the little demoness, his will to fight had been weakened to the extreme. Even if he wasn't injured, he probably wouldn't be able to continue fighting. At this moment, Ling Xiao didn't have time to guess their thoughts. He had to admit, after the demon-dragon transformation, Lin Quan had become stronger than the 3 original heads combined. And the most troublesome thing was that this guy seemed to have an immortal body. No matter how Ling Xiao's moves hurt him, he could instantly recover. This was a situation that made people feel helpless. However, Ling Xiao wouldn't give up. He believed that there was no such thing as an immortal body in this world. Lin Quan's immortal body must have some weakness. I think Ling Xiao is finished. Although Lin Kuan's actions are hard to accept, I have to admit that in the entire 8 Immortal City, he should be the strongest existence. I'm afraid that even the 13th prince isn't his opponent. That's right, I want to support Ling Xiao now. Although Ling Xiao is called the Great Demon, he hasn't done anything to harm the innocent. But Lin Kuan, as the head of the 8 Immortals Mountain, what has he done? That's right. Discussions rose and fell one after another. However, it still couldn't change the situation on the battlefield. The 13th prince was very happy. He didn't care about Lin Kuan, even if Lin Kuan was a lackey of the dragon cult. As long as Ling Xiao died, he would be satisfied. Ling Xiao would not let the 13th prince have his way. He used Wolf, traversing 1,000 miles under his feet, and his figure drifted around the battlefield like a ghost. Although Devil Dragon Ling Xiao was powerful, it was difficult for his powerful attacks to hit Ling Xiao. To him, Ling Xiao was like a nimble fish that he could not catch. What puzzled Lin Kuan the most was that Ling Xiao's 1,000-mile wolf could not only dodge but also attack. Lightning Wolf. It was like a wolf-shaped bolt of lightning. Lava Wolf. It was like a battle wolf condensed from magma. Sword Wolf. That was the wolf-shaped sword energy. It was incomparably powerful. Every time he dodged, he would leave a terrifying wound on Demon Dragon Lin Kuan's body. Although the wound quickly healed, the demonic dragon screams continued to ring out. One had to know that the 3 sect masters were all first transformation martial artists, and all of them had higher cultivation and were older than him. In front of Ling Xiao, the so-called geniuses of the 8 Immortals County were nothing. Lin Yuetian and Chun Beixian were not even worthy of carrying his shoes. This was what most people thought in their hearts. Even if Ling Xiao was thrown into the Imperial City now, he would definitely not be underestimated. This guy's rise is too fast. I believe the Imperial City has already heard of his name. I'm guessing that even the 13th prince would have to give him a spot in the Mystic Realm Academy after watching this battle. Even the Arcana Academy would make an exception and admit him. Sigh. I wonder if he can survive the demonic dragon Lin Kuan's attack. After all, that demonic dragon is immortal. They had looked down on Ling Xiao and thought that Ling Xiao was too arrogant. Now, they felt that Ling Xiao was worthy of his name. It had only been less than 30 minutes. Ling Xiao had used his true strength to prove himself. Shadow martial art, dark slaying. During the 1,000-mile wolf traverse, Ling Xiao gained more control of the situation and started to use his martial art. However, this time, he used a top-tier jade martial art. Although it was of the lowest tier, its power was still much greater than a top-tier jade martial art. Moreover, Ling Xiao's sword was no longer the white jade flying dragon sword, but the 8 Immortals' sword. Chapter 2569. What a joke. You think you can kill me with a low-quality top-tier jade grade martial skill? The demon dragon Lin Kuan sneered. He waved his huge claws and clawed at Ling Xiao. Although he was only using a normal attack, its power was comparable to a low-quality, top-tier, jade, grade martial skill. Bang! Dong! Ling Xiao's attack landed on the demon dragon Lin Kuan's body. Lin Kuan had no intention of dodging. He wanted to fight Ling Xiao to the death. When Ling Xiao's attack landed on him, his claws also landed on Ling Xiao's body. Although the demon dragon's body had another large wound, it healed in a very short time. Ling Xiao was slammed into the ground by the demon dragon's claws. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His body felt like it was going to fall apart. Damn it, what a terrifying attack. But it feels good. Ling Xiao cursed as he stood up. That attack just now had actually caused the potential in his body to explode. It increased his power from the mid-stage of the 7th level of Hell by 90%. He was only one step away from the late stage of the yin-yang stage. It was enough to show how powerful the attack was. It's over. Ling Xiao is really finished. The demon dragon has an immortal body. Even if they were to attack each other, the demon dragon would definitely have the upper hand. Ling Xiao is in trouble. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that. Lin Quan seemed to feel that he could not block Ling Xiao's attack. Instead, he took advantage of the moment when Ling Xiao attacked to counterattack. In this way, when Ling Xiao hit him, he could also hit Ling Xiao. Although Ling Xiao's attack was very powerful. But so what? If he could not hurt him, he could not hurt him. Unless Ling Xiao could use an outstanding top-tier jade grade martial skill, he could not really hurt him. Otherwise, it would be a waste of internal energy. Ha ha ha, Ling Xiao, it's time for you to die. Let's see what other tricks you can come up with. The demon dragon Lin Quan was already thinking about how to escape after the battle. The royal family would definitely not let go of the dragon cult's people. He believed that the 13th prince would definitely be the aureole behind the mantis. It seems that our previous arrangements won't be needed, Your Highness. And Pa said with a smile on the ship. No, although we might not use it on Ling Xiao, we can't let Lin Quan go, even if it's just for show. We have to capture him. He is very strong. The 13th prince was thinking of a good thing. After capturing Lin Quan, he would raise him into a suicide soldier. Lin Quan decided. The enormous body of the demonic dragon began to gradually shrink. However, its aura did not decrease. It was as if everything had been condensed into one place. At this moment, Lin Quan gradually returned to his human form. Of course, it was only his human form. His head, torso, tail, and wings all looked like the demon dragon. Only his hands were free. They were the hands used to wield the sword, another divine-grade spiritual artifact. Ling Xiao looked at the sword in Lin Quan's hand in surprise. The sword looked very similar to the 8 immortal swords, but the color was different. Hee. You probably don't know that the 8 immortal swords are divided into male and female. The male and female swords are the true appearance of the 8 immortal swords. Since you took one, I will take it back. Lin Quan smiled coldly. His terrifying internal energy began to flow into the 8 immortal swords. No matter how strong you are, the time you have the dark shadow gourd is limited. How would you know that the martial arts of the 8 great families are not as good as the sect master's martial arts? With your martial arts, you can at most cultivate an ordinary top grade jade grade martial skill. As for my martial arts, I can cultivate one good move and one outstanding move to become a top grade jade grade martial art. This is the difference. A huge difference. Lin Quan said proudly. The power of the 8 immortal swords in his hand gradually reached its peak. Within the sword chi, there seemed to be a human figure. Ling Xiao knew that it should be the 8 immortal patriarchs. 8 immortal swords technique, eliminating traitors. Ling Xiao had never heard of this technique before, but he could clearly feel that its power was on par with the 5th style of the dark shadow martial arts, destroying Ghost King. It was a martial art technique that he had never used before. Although he had cultivated it to the transcendent state, he had never used it because his opponents were not strong enough. But today, Lin Quan used a martial art technique that was on par with it. When Lin Quan used this move, Purge the Traitor, endless sighs came from the crowd. They knew that Ling Xiao had lost, completely lost. There was no way he could turn the tables. Even if he didn't die, he couldn't fight anymore. After all, the onlookers were all martial artists, so they could clearly feel that Lin Quan's technique, coupled with the domineering power of the demon dragon, was so powerful that it was suffocating. Ha 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 ha. Ling Xiao suddenly laughed. What are you laughing at? Lin Quan frowned and said. He wanted to see Ling Xiao kneel and beg for mercy. He wanted to see Ling Xiao panic. I'm laughing at you for being a frog at the bottom of a well. I'm laughing at you like an idiot. Who told you that the martial arts of the 8 major families could only be cultivated to the top tier of jade grade? Who told you that I can't cultivate a powerful martial art technique in a short time? Do you think I'm you? You're a martial arts cripple. Ling Xiao's voice echoed throughout the battlefield. This caused the people who originally thought that he was dead for sure to reveal puzzled expressions. Could it be that Ling Xiao still had a chance? Could he be telling the truth? Braggart, you're bluffing again. Among the Dark Ones, the Dark Elder shook his head and said, As the Elder of the Dark Ones, I've had the Shadow Black gourd for much longer than him. What the sect leader said is true. That kid is just bluffing. It's a pity that the sect leader won't buy it. Does that mean that he's really going to die? The Sand Tribe Elder asked. I don't know if he's going to die, but he's definitely going to lose. He's no match for Lin Quan. I was hoping that he could injure Lin Quan severely before he died. The Dark Elder sighed. His beautiful dream was about to be shattered. You don't believe me? Then I'll show you what a real dark shadow martial art is. Ling Xiao held the 8 immortal sword tightly and pointed it at Lin Quan. He can't be believing his nonsense too, right? Seeing this scene, the crowd was a little confused. There were indeed some people in this world who would lie to themselves in the end. They would even believe that their own lies were true. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, I didn't expect this Ling Xiao to be such an idiot. To think that I was so afraid of him. It's funny just thinking about it. On the flywheel ship, the 13th prince laughed heartily. Min, what do you think he's doing? Chen Kanglin asked Hong Min, in the carriage. He's not bluffing. He really knows a martial art technique as powerful as Lin Quan's. Chapter 2570. I heard that he acquired the Dark Shadow martial arts less than 2 months ago. Even in the capital city, there aren't many geniuses like him, right? Qin Kanglin said again. How can someone who is appreciated by you be weak? I bet that Ling Xiao will win. Hong Min was sure of the result. She believed that Ling Xiao was a pleasant surprise and a person worthy of the second prince, Qin Kanglin, to befriend. Qin Kanglin smiled. He was waiting and looking forward to it. What kind of surprise would Ling Xiao give him? Just when most people thought that Ling Xiao was at his wit's end, a powerful black gas was released from Ling Xiao's sword. The black gas swirled around and gradually formed a huge demon. The demon roared and charged toward Lin Quan without fear. Eliminate the traitor? I think you're the one who should be eliminated. Dark Shadow Martial Arts, Ghost Destroying King. As Ling Xiao spoke, the Ghost Destroying King let out a loud roar. Its momentum was on par with Lin Quan's 8 Immortals sword technique. The Dark Tribe Elder stood up abruptly and looked at the sword technique released by Ling Xiao in horror. Ghost Destroying King? He never knew that there was such a move in the Dark Shadow martial arts. The strength of this move and its connection with the previous moves proved that it was definitely a Dark Shadow martial arts. It was definitely a top-tier jade grade martial arts technique. But why? Could it be that we old fellows were wrong from the start? The Dark Tribe Elder suddenly seemed to have aged a lot. He had racked his brains to let his descendants have the Dark Shadow martial arts. But he never thought that the Dark Shadow martial arts would not be fully developed in his hands. If that's the case, is there really a final move in the 8 great families' martial arts? The rest of the elders asked themselves one after another. Ling Xiao was such a genius. If they had stopped discriminating against him, perhaps the 8 great families' strength would have improved by leaps and bounds. Everyone had their own thoughts, but the more they thought about it, the more they didn't want Ling Xiao to die. Even the elders of the Sand Race and the Dark Race didn't want Ling Xiao to die. They hated him so much that they didn't want him dead. This was because they needed Ling Xiao to teach them the moves that they were unable to comprehend. At this moment, a huge commotion broke out. They hurriedly looked at the battlefield. The phantoms of the 8 immortals and the Ghost King finally hit each other again. In that instant, everyone knew that Ling Xiao had not been defeated. Half of Lin Kuan's body was almost torn apart by the Ghost King. On the other hand, Ling Xiao's situation was actually much better. Around his body, there was an energy shield that looked like a disc. These energy shields were releasing astonishing lightning. Spirit Commandeering Lightning Shield. Beginner. Although it was only at the entry level, it was still a first heaven of the immortal grade martial skill. Its strong defensive power completely blocked Lin Kuan's attack. This scene caused everyone to be stupefied. The 13th prince suddenly stood up. With his eyesight, it was impossible for him not to see what kind of martial skill Ling Xiao was using. Damn it, he has only received the inheritance of the Holy Emperor Tianlei for a few days, and he has already comprehended the Spirit Commandeering Lightning Shield? He was extremely angry and shocked. No, that thing is mine, it's mine. Seeing how powerful the Spirit Commandeering Lightning Shield was, the 13th prince was even more eager to get his hands on it. This is impossible. Lin Kuan revealed a shocked expression. This was because this move was the strongest martial skill that he had grasped at the moment. It couldn't break through Ling Xiao's defense. Didn't this mean that he was going to lose? No, I don't accept it. He roared, and his eyes became crazy. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. You can't hurt me anyway. Idiot! Haven't you noticed that your recovery speed has slowed down a lot? Ling Xiao looked at Lin Kuan coldly and said indifferently, What? At this moment, Lin Kuan was stunned to discover that his originally rapid recovery had actually almost stopped at this moment. Although it was still recovering, it would take at least 10 minutes for it to fully recover. From the beginning, I didn't expect you to be killed directly, so every attack I made was infused with the terrifying, undying thunder. Because it was just a little bit, you didn't notice it at all. You thought that you were immortal, so you didn't care at all. It was because of your immortal body that you lost your usual vigilance. Now, take my final attack. I'll let you see what the martial skills passed down by the 8 immortals are really like, lest you bastards ruin them. As he spoke, Ling Xiao suddenly retreated, and the 8 immortals' sword in his hand condensed a terrifying aura again. This time, the terrifying aura of death was thicker than before. Lin Kuan could only watch as Ling Xiao condensed a move, and he couldn't recover, so he had to fight against the undying thunder in his body. It's useless. You can't kill me. Without an outstanding top-tier Jade grade martial skill, you can't kill me at all. Even at this moment, Lin Kuan was still dreaming. He thought that Ling Xiao couldn't kill him. Therefore, even if Ling Xiao attacked him again, it would be useless. As long as he cleared all the undying thunder in his body, this battle would be over. He wouldn't fall for the same trick twice. An outstanding top-tier Jade grade martial skill. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you. Boom! A huge aura came out of the 8 immortal sword. The black sword chi intertwined to form the shape of a ghost dragon. The giant ghost dragon looked down at Lin Kuan, full of majesty and death aura. No, how can this be? In the stands, the Dark Tribe Elder felt that he was going crazy. Ling Xiao was already filled with regret and despair for being able to use the Annihilate Ghost King. However, when this move was used, he almost collapsed completely. It's actually an outstanding, top-tier Jade grade martial skill. The King of Destruction just now wasn't the last move. This Ling Xiao is not human at all. He's a demon, a terrifying demon. The other elders were also completely dumbfounded. Ling Xiao's performance had already shattered their imagination. Even in their dreams, they didn't dare to imagine such a thing. At this moment, Chen Changxing and the Duke of Yu, who were already very weak, were also numb. They thought that without the little devil girl's interference, they still had a chance to turn the tables. However, at this moment, Ling Xiao executed this move. They suddenly understood. In fact, This battle should have been over long ago. Ling Xiao had been playing them like children. If he had used this terrifying move earlier, who could have resisted it? This was even more terrifying than the berserk thunder technique. Lin Quan, who bore the brunt of it, was naturally more frightened. Although his demonic dragon transformation was said to be immortal, there was actually a limit. As long as his opponent could use an outstanding top-tier Jade grade martial skill, he would definitely die. However, almost no one in the 8 Immortals County could do this. Perhaps there was once, but definitely not now. Chapter 2571. Lin Quan thought that his demonic dragon transformation was invincible. However, when Ling Xiao performed his move, he finally realized that he had underestimated this person. This move is called Ghost Slaying Dragon. It's your honor to die under it. Why? Why can you comprehend such a powerful move? Why? Is this the true essence of the 8 Immortals martial arts? Lin Quan's emotions were extremely complicated. Despair, absent-minded, unwilling. He was also very confused. I'll let you know before you die. This move is far from the true essence of the 8 Immortals martial arts. It has 3 more moves, each stronger than the last. Ling Xiao's indifferent voice sounded in Lin Quan's ears. Under everyone's gaze, Lin Quan actually knelt on the ground. There were 3 more moves? Then why did he betray his savior and repay kindness with enmity to obtain the martial arts of the 8 Immortals martial arts? He turned himself into a demon, but it was a joke in the end. I can't accept this. I can't accept this. With a sorrowful and desperate voice, the huge ghost dragon swooped down and completely swallowed Lin Quan, who was kneeling on the ground. With one move, Lin Quan's corpse was not even left behind. It was completely turned into dust and disappeared between heaven and earth. Lin Quan's remaining energy poured into Ling Xiao's body, helping him break through to the late stage of the 7th level of hell of the yin-yang transformation state. However, Ling Xiao had the aura of the breakthrough. The demonic dragon beast soul in Lin Quan's body was also absorbed by Ling Xiao and integrated into the Tyrant blood demonic dragon beast soul. At that moment, the Tyrant blood demonic dragon advanced. It advanced to the 9th level of hell of the yin-yang transformation state. In this way, the Tyrant blood demonic dragon, which was almost useless, became an important combat force for Ling Xiao again. With a wave of his hand, Ling Xiao put away the other 8 Immortals' sword. In this way, with the combination of male and female, he finally had a pair of divine-grade spiritual artifact swords. It should be easier to travel to the Chun Kingdom's imperial capital with this pair of swords. He collected the spoils of war as if no one was around. An entire battlefield became deathly silent. A moment later, an earth-shattering shout suddenly erupted. He didn't know if he was in disbelief or happy. In short, this battle allowed them to see the most miraculous battle results. He actually did it. My God, a single bolt of lightning knocked out 2 sect leaders, killing Devil Dragon Lin Quan with one sword. Just what is this guy's background? Who the hell knows where he came from? But he's too strong, really too strong. 1 against 3 sect masters, and he actually won. If this news were to spread, I'm afraid even the people of the royal capital would be alarmed. Monster. No, the Monster King. Even ordinary monsters can't reach his level. Do you still remember what he said before? Submit to me and prosper, or oppose me and perish. I thought he was joking, but I didn't expect it to become a reality. That's right. This guy killed Demon Dragon Lin Quan. Why doesn't it seem like he's exhausted at all? Of course, they didn't know that Ling Xiao had already swallowed a blood spirit pill. His qi, blood, and inner force had completely recovered. There was no doubt that Ling Xiao's image was infinitely magnified in everyone's eyes at this moment. If there were people who still had doubts about him before, then now everything was gone. The onlookers could be said to be happy and sad. The Duke of Yu's mansion, the Tianfeng Group, and the Eight Immortals Mountain had a love-hate relationship with Ling Xiao. They loved that Ling Xiao didn't kill Qin Changxing and the Duke of Yu because he was merciful. Furthermore, he had even killed the demon dragon Lin Quan. What was hateful was that after Ling Xiao's victory, the 3 quotas of the Arcana Academy would probably belong to him. Even the Eight Immortals County might become Ling Xiao's fief. None of this would benefit them at all. 13th Prince, what do you think? Ling Xiao raised his head and looked at the 13th Prince on the airship. Defeating the 3 sect leaders was only the first step. What he wanted was the 3 quotas of the Arcana Academy and the right to rule the Eight Immortals County. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because you are strong enough? There are many people in this world who are stronger than you. Also, I have the final say on the quotas of the Arcana Academy. Who do you think you are? The 13th Prince coldly snorted. Although the fact that Ling Xiao defeated the 3 sect leaders shocked him, he had already set up an inescapable net. He wasn't afraid that Ling Xiao wouldn't die. As long as he could kill Ling Xiao here, then he wouldn't have to worry about anything. 13th Prince, you have to think carefully. The consequences of doing this will be very serious. Ling Xiao coldly looked at the airship and said, "How dare you? All the land under the heavens belongs to the king. Do you dare to become enemies with the royal family of the Qin Kingdom?" The 13th Prince angrily roared. "Hee, all the land under the heavens does belong to the king, but can you represent the entire royal family? I'm afraid not." "Fine, since you can't keep your promise, then don't blame me. Little Demoness, destroy that airship." Ling Xiao coldly sneered. As soon as he finished speaking, a scorching black light had already enveloped the entire airship. Then the airship crashed to the ground. The 13th Prince and his attendants were in a sorry state. A few of them were even burned to death. "How dare you attack the royal family?" The 13th Prince looked at Ling Xiao with anger and fear. He believed that his strength was at most on par with demonic dragon Lin Quan. If demonic dragon Lin Quan couldn't defeat Ling Xiao, then he couldn't either. Therefore, he was very wary of Ling Xiao. "So what if I attacked you? It's not your first day knowing me, right? Why are you so surprised?" Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Good, very good. Kill him, kill him." Amidst the roars, a huge light shield enveloped the entire battlefield. The 13th Prince and his attendants walked out of the light shield. Then a group of people rushed in. These people were all 7th level of hell experts in the yin-yang realm. Ha 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 ha, Ling Xiao, you didn't expect this, did you? This array can only be entered from the outside, but not from the inside. Of course, I know the secrets of the array, so I can enter and exit as I wish. Just stay inside and wait for your death." The 13th Prince laughed maniacally. Then he said to Inpa, "Go and stall that little Demoness. Don't fight to the death. Just don't let her enter the array to help Ling Xiao." "Second Prince, isn't it time for us to make a move?" Hong Min looked at Chen Kanglin and asked, "I told you to call me young master." Chen Kanglin sighed and said, "Forget it. It's time to reveal my identity. After all, it's better to help someone in need than to add icing on the cake. If we can save Ling Xiao now, he will owe us a favor." "Yes," Hong Min responded and suddenly flew out of the carriage. Bright light was released from her body. The entire battlefield was crimson red. She instantly became the center of attention. Chapter 2572. Ling Xiao was also observing. Although he could kill these warriors, it would take a lot of effort. There was no need to expose too much of his strength. If there were any accidents, he would welcome it. Why is it that girl? The 13th Prince was shocked when he saw Hong Minor. How could he not know Hong Minor? She was the person who was inseparable from his second brother. Among the 14 princes of the king of the Chen Kingdom, Two of them had been conferred the title of prince. They were both 9-star princes. In the absence of a crown prince, these two were the most powerful among the 14 princes. One of them was the second prince, Chun Kanglin. The other was the 14th prince, Chun Songxiong. As for the 13th prince, he was not even a prince. He was just a poor county prince. Even if he had a fief, it would only be a county. He could not even lift his head in front of these two. If the second prince really came, he would have to kneel down and welcome him. Listen up, 9-star prince. Jihyun of Silla of the Qin Kingdom has decreed that Ling Xiao is a genius. The Arcana Academy needs people like him. Therefore, whoever dares to touch him will be the enemy of the Arcana Academy and Jihyun of Silla. Since you have agreed that Ling Xiao will be the winner, the 3 spots of the Arcana Academy will be given to him. There must be no mistakes. In addition, the 8 Immortals County will be Ling Xiao's fief from today onward. It can be passed down from generation to generation. Sex will not be allowed to fight over it. Hong Miner's voice was not loud, but everyone heard it clearly. The meaning behind her words was like a clap of thunder. Many people were so shocked that they could not react for a long time. Ling Xiao is one of Jihyun of Silla's men. No wonder he is not afraid of the 13th prince. The 13th prince is nothing in front of Jihyun of Silla. That means Ling Xiao is now the lord of the 8 Immortals County. That's right, that's right. Those who offended him are in trouble now. The discussion started again. Ling Xiao frowned. There was no free lunch in this world. He did not know any Jihyun of Silla. There must be a reason why he helped him so much. However, he would not reject this benefit. After all, he did not intend to completely fall out with the royal family. Thank you for your appreciation, King Jixian, but I'm afraid that our 13th prince will not be convinced. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Young hero Ling, you don't have to worry about that. This younger brother of mine is really unreliable this time. He's already angered Father and the Mystic Realm Academy, so he's been ordered to return to the capital and be imprisoned. An elegant young man walked out of the carriage. Although he did not release a powerful aura like Hongmin Er's, no one dared to underestimate him. Everyone knew that he was extremely powerful. The person closest to the throne. The 13th prince roared hysterically. How dare you? How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Do you think I don't know what you're thinking? Ask your men to stop. Do you really want me to do it? Chun Kanglin looked at the 13th prince coldly. They were supposed to be brothers, but they were like enemies. This was a stark contrast to the relationship between Ling Xiao and Ling Yan. Ling Xiao and Ling Yan were not brothers, but they were willing to risk their lives for each other. Perhaps this was the royal family. That place was full of schemes and internal strife. It really made one feel sad. Kill him. Kill him. The 13th prince knew that even Chun Kanglin would not dare to kill him. Since he was going to be imprisoned, he did not care anymore. He would be satisfied as long as he could kill Ling Xiao before he left. As for his men of sacrifice, they actually obeyed his orders and charged towards Ling Xiao. How could Chun Kanglin not do anything in this situation? He was Jihyun of Silla. His words were not for show. Min kill, he said softly. Hong Min released a shocking amount of internal energy and struck out with a palm. In an instant, the men of sacrifice who were loyal to the 13th prince were all killed in the flames. Ling Xiao frowned. Hong Min was really strong. Perhaps only the little demoness would be a match for her. Chun Kanglin was even stronger. He even had a mysterious aura that Ling Xiao could not identify. This kind of person was dangerous. Working with him was like asking a tiger for its skin. However, Ling Xiao liked to be with a tiger. It was not certain who would eat who. Anyway, he had to go to King Qin. That was the next step for him to improve his strength. Although he wanted to join the 9 Supremes, he would only be courting death if he joined them with his current strength. He might as well go to King Qin and strengthen himself. When he was stronger, he could go out and explore. The 13th prince's men of sacrifice were all killed, and Pahad escaped quietly. He did not want to be imprisoned with the 13th prince. This guy was cunning. Ling Xiao! Ling Xiao! Suddenly, Ling Xiao's name was heard all over the 8 Immortals County. Some people were quick to follow the trend. They had supported the 3 leaders before, but now they had become Ling Xiao's loyal fans. However, Ling Xiao could not be bothered with these people. They could not cause any trouble anyway. As long as he was strong enough, these people would always be on his side. As for Ling Xiao, he walked towards Jihyun of Silla and Qin Kanglin. No matter what, he had to thank others for helping him. However, there were some things that he had to make clear. He would not give himself to anyone. He was who he was. He preferred to be free and control his own destiny. He did not want to work for others. Thank you, Jihyun of Silla, for your help. Ling Xiao is very grateful. Ling Xiao cupped his fists and said to Qin Kanglin. He did not kneel down. Although he knew that Jihyun of Silla was much stronger than him, he had not shown his trump card. If they really fought, even if he could not win, he could still save his life. Therefore, he did not need to be afraid of Jihyun of Silla, nor did he need to be humble. There is no need to thank me. Jihyun of Silla hurriedly grabbed Ling Xiao's hands and said very intimately, I have heard of your name for a long time. Therefore, I specially asked my father and the Arcana Academy for a decree, and then came to the 8 Immortals County. Your performance really did not disappoint me. From now on, we can call each other brothers. There is no need to call each other king. Ling Xiao was stunned for a moment. King Jixian's behavior was a little too friendly. They had just met, and they were already calling each other brothers? He said seriously, Your Highness, I am just a commoner. I dare not call you my brother. If your Highness thinks highly of me, I will be your friend. It's okay. I was rude. Jihyun of Silla was not angry at all. He laughed and said, Yes, friends. From now on, we are friends. As long as I have food to eat, I will never let you go hungry. Although Qin Kanglin felt that he was very polite. In Ling Xiao's opinion, Qin Kanglin's approach was a bit pretentious. Chapter 2573. Thank you, Your Highness, for thinking so highly of me. Ling Xiao said, All right, let's cut to the chase. This is the decree that I asked for. Take it. If anyone dares to disobey your orders, deal with them directly. There is no need to report. The 8 Immortal City will be your territory in the future. Those people will be your people. Qin Kanglin held Ling Xiao's hand all the time. That kind of affection was even closer than that of a brother. My people. Ling Xiao secretly laughed. If Qin Kanglin knew that his ambition was to control the entire mysterious world and let the human race regain control of the world, what would Jihyun of Silla think? Of course, he would not say this out loud. Although he did things his own way, he was definitely not stupid. Qin Kanglin was much more powerful than the 13th prince. When dealing with such a person, he had to be a little cautious. Anyway, Qin Kanglin just wanted him to owe him a favor and then use him to do something. Then he could use Jihyun of Silla's identity and status to achieve some of his own goals. Using each other, it was that simple. Jihyun of Silla wanted to use him, and he wanted to use Qin Kanglin. Everyone was just taking what they needed. I, Ling Xiao, am a person who does not benefit from anything. I have always been very grateful to those who have helped me. I will definitely repay the kindness of a drop of water with a gushing spring. Ling Xiao's seemingly indifferent words made Jihyun of Silla and Qin Kanglin happy. In Jihyun of Silla's view, his advisor Hongmin was right. Ling Xiao was a person who could not be forcefully subdued. It was better to treat him as a friend, and he would naturally repay the kindness of a friend. I do not expect to be repaid for what I have done. By the way, you still have at most 5 days in the Eight Immortal City. Take care of your matters. 5 days later, follow me to the Qin Kingdom's capital. With me around, no one will dare to do anything to you. Jihyun of Silla thought that Qin Kanglin's recruitment method was very sincere. The reason why he didn't directly give a gift was probably because he was worried that Ling Xiao would misunderstand. However, this gift would definitely not be lacking in the future. All right, that's not a problem. Ling Xiao nodded and said, If your Highness doesn't have anything else, then I'll take my leave first. Okay, you do what you need to do. Qin Kanglin nodded and got into the carriage with a smile. He then left with Hong Minor. As for where he was going, he naturally didn't tell Ling Xiao. Qin Kanglin was not like the 13th prince who paid attention to extravagance. This kind of person was too intelligent. He paid attention to everything and always liked to scheme against others behind their backs. He was much harder to deal with than the 13th prince. Young master, Min-Er feels that Ling Xiao is ultimately someone who is difficult to control. While you treat him with respect, you should also use more methods. On the carriage, Hong Minor reminded him, Of course I know. I've already made the arrangements. In fact, I've always had people in the Eight Immortals Mountain, the Tianfeng Group, and the Duke of Yu's mansion. Moreover, they hold important positions. It's just that they've been keeping a low profile. Qin Kanglin smiled faintly and said, The Eight Immortal City has been handed over to Ling Xiao. In fact, it's still in my hands. After all, Ling Xiao is all alone. Who can he send to manage it? Rely on those useless people in Yuhua Town. Young master, you're so wise. What I just thought of, you've already predicted and made the arrangements. Hong Minor praised. Let's not talk about this anymore. How's the matter going? Qin Kanglin suddenly waved his hand and said. Hong Minor frowned and replied, Not too good. Our people entered the Ox Deity's maze and realized that the 9 Serenities' golden crow had disappeared. Disappeared? Did those young people get it? Qin Kanglin frowned even more and said, I don't care about anything else. However, I must get the devouring demon fetus and the 9 Serenities' golden crow. Otherwise, I won't be able to suppress my 14th brother. After all, the mystic world is the mystic world. No matter how smart you are, it's useless if you're not strong enough. Your Highness, don't worry. I've already sent people to interrogate those who entered the Ox Deity's maze. We'll definitely find some clues. Actually, in my opinion, Ling Xiao seems to be the most suspicious. Hong Minor said, If it's Ling Xiao, it'll be easy. When we arrive at the Qin Kingdom's capital, he'll always be under my surveillance. Once I find any clues, I'll find him immediately. No matter how much I have to pay, I'll get those 2 things. If I can't, I'll kill him. Qin Kanglin could lower his status for a talent. However, he could also kill a talent for something that could increase his strength. This was a true hero. Of course. Ling Xiao didn't know what happened in the carriage. He didn't know what they were talking about. However, Hong Minor was right about one thing. Not only did he get the devouring demon fetus, he also got the remnant soul of the 9 Serenities' golden crow. After Ling Xiao bid farewell to Qin Kanglin, he used a special method to control Qin Chongqing and the Duke of Yu. These 2 guys were relatively strong. Once they rebelled, it would be difficult to suppress them. Therefore, he used the same method he used to deal with Ling Yuhua. If these 2 old guys didn't listen to him, they would die. Qin Chongqing and the Duke of Yu didn't want to die. Naturally, they were willing to listen to Ling Xiao. After all, it was the same whether they were the 13th prince's dog or Ling Xiao's dog. They just didn't want to accept it. After all, Ling Xiao's status was lower. He wasn't as noble as the 13th prince. However, they didn't have the confidence to refuse. As for the 8 Immortals Mountain, the Heavenly Wind Group, and the Duke of Yu's residence, they were all suppressed by the prisoners released from the ghost prison. The ones leading the prisoners were Lin Ruoxian, Moon Death, Sire Shui, and the elders of the Yu clan. Ling Xiao's method of controlling those prisoners was, of course, pills. Those fellows were all ferocious. If he wanted to subdue them in a short period of time, he could only use such methods. As long as they wanted to live, they had to listen to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao only spent a day to reform the 3 major powers in the 8 immortal city. Although the Duke of Yu's residence continued to exist, it wasn't allowed to recruit soldiers. It couldn't exist as a power. It was just an idle duke's residence. The Heavenly Wind Group was changed into the City Defense Group. Sire Shui was the group leader, and Qin Chongsheng was the vice leader. The members of the group were all reselected. The first choice was loyalty. The second choice was strength and talent. The 8 Immortals Mountain still existed and became the only sect in the 8 Immortal City. However, the sect master became the elder of the Yu clan. The system of the 8 great clans was also completely abandoned. It was simply changed to the lower and upper 8 Immortals Mountain. Moreover, the disciples of the upper 8 Immortals Mountain were no longer judged by their clan. As long as they passed the test, they could enter regardless of whether they had a backer. In fact, it was similar to the inner and outer disciples of ordinary sections. Some of the elders were retained. However, Ling Xiao didn't hesitate to use pills to control them. After all, he was clear that there were many people who didn't want to accept him. The next day, a wandering cultivator came to the 8 Immortal City. It was a female. Her cultivation was at the first level of the rebirth realm. Chapter 2574. The wandering cultivator had not entered the cycle of reincarnation, but she was still invincible in the 8 Immortal City with her first level rebirth realm cultivation. Her name was Haim Myung-Ko. She was a cultivator from the heavenly dragon continent and was Ling Xiao's greatest enemy and most loyal companion. Haim Myung-Ko was the holy son of the human race's sacred dynasty. However, when the sacred dynasty fell, she was also defeated by Ling Xiao. Later on, due to a freak combination of factors, she became friends with Ling Xiao and was now a valiant general of the Heavenly Empire. However, as of today, the gap between her and Ling Xiao was growing larger and larger. She had just advanced to the first level rebirth realm, but Ling Xiao was already a cultivator at the late stage of the 7th level of hell. She believed that this gap would only get bigger in the future. It was Ling Xiao who asked the Celestial Empire to send people over in order to stabilize the rule of the 8 Immortals County and establish a special force to guard the 8 Immortals County while eradicating spies and traitors who had infiltrated the 8 Immortals County. Haim Myung-Ko brought more than 100 people. In order not to attract attention, they deliberately came from the remote place of Yuhua Town. The 8 Immortal City will depend on you in the future. It will be very helpful for your cultivation here. I hope you can enter the cycle of reincarnation as soon as possible. Only by entering the cycle of reincarnation can your cultivation continue to improve. Otherwise, you will be stuck at the first level rebirth realm for the rest of your life. Ling Xiao reminded Haim Myung-Ko, the stories we heard about the rebirth realm in the past are all wrong. If Haim Myung-Ko entered the cycle of reincarnation, Ling Xiao would not worry about not having a successor. In any case, although most of the cultivators in the Heavenly Empire were not at the average level of the Black Tortoise Continent, there was no problem in controlling a small place like the 8 Immortal City. I understand. You have to be careful too. From today onwards, you will be involved in the struggle for hegemony in the Black Tortoise Continent. Although no one knows about your ambitions for now, they will know sooner or later. Haim Myung-Ko reminded, Of course I know. Since I've chosen this path, I have no reason to fear. Ling Xiao smiled and said, Starting tomorrow, the 8 Immortal Cities Overlord Mansion will be built according to my blueprint. You can temporarily live in the Heavenly Dragon Trading Company. I have already arranged everything. If you don't have enough manpower, you can go to Yuhua Town to look for people. The people there have already become loyal to me. All right. Ling Xiao had originally planned to catch up with Haim Myung-ko. Suddenly, someone came in to report. Ling Xiao had no choice but to let Haim Myung-ko leave first. The person who came in was Lin Yang. Boss, it's not good. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death have been captured. Kong Yu, Zhen Hai, Shi Yanran, and Akira Toriyama have also been captured. When Lin Yang came in, he looked very anxious. They are all participants of the Ox Deity's maze. Do you know who did this? Ling Xiao asked. I'm not sure at the moment, but if Senior Sister Xian left a clue, maybe we can find the person who captured them. Lin Yang replied, I know. You can go and do what you need to do. You may not be able to intervene in the following matters. I will take care of it. Actually, after knowing that those people were captured, Ling Xiao already had a suspect in his heart. The most likely suspect was Ji Hyun of Silla, Chun Kanglin. That guy might be looking for something in the Ox Deity's maze, so he did this. Originally, the 13th prince was the biggest suspect, but the 13th prince was already imprisoned, so it was impossible. So it could only be Chun Kanglin, but speculation was speculation. No matter how confident he was, it was still speculation. In order to not wrongly accuse a good person, he planned to save them personally. Since Lin Ruoxian had left a clue, it would be easy to handle. After coming out of the 8 Immortals Mountain, Ling Xiao went straight to the place where Lin Ruoxian and the others were captured. His biggest taboo was when someone hurt his family and friends. Usually, he would not show mercy to such enemies. He would kill them directly. This time it was no exception. He did not care how powerful the other party was or what they wanted to do. If anything happened to Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death, he would definitely make them pay with their lives. Ling Xiao went at full speed. In just over 10 minutes, he had already arrived at an abandoned mine outside the 8 Immortal City. In this mine, a group of people were tied up. Not only were there disciples of the 8 Immortals Mountain, but there were also disciples of the Tianfeng group and the Duke of Yu's mansion. Of course, these people were all martial artists under Ling Xiao's city defense troop. As soon as he arrived near the mine, Ling Xiao slowed down and then sneaked into the mine in the form of a ghost wolf. He heard the conversation in the mine. Just as he expected, these people were captured because they wanted to know the whereabouts of the devouring demon fetus and the 9 nether golden crows' remnant soul. Unfortunately, among these people, even Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death did not know the whereabouts of these two things. It was useless to ask. However, there was still someone with a foul mouth. This person was Chun Bao from the Heavenly Wind Group. Don't kill me. I know that Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death have been with Ling Xiao all this time. They definitely know whether those two things were taken by Ling Xiao or not. Hearing this, Ling Xiao immediately had a strong killing intent. He was kind enough to spare Chun Bao's life. However, not only did this bastard not know how to repay his kindness, but he also betrayed Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. If he did not kill this bastard, Ling Xiao would have wasted his powerful strength. He was not in a hurry to enter because he wanted to know who else would betray Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. In the end, he waited for a long time. There were 8 people in the Heavenly Wind Group who followed Qin Bao's lead. Chun Beixian, on the other hand, was lying there quietly as if nothing had anything to do with him. There were also 4 people in the Duke of Yu's mansion. However, Xiaofeng Canua and Xiaofeng Qinyang did not take the lead. The strength that Ling Xiao had displayed that day had completely awed them, allowing the siblings to understand one thing. Ling Xiao was not someone they could mess with. Moreover, they would not be able to survive if they did not do anything. They were not that stupid. After a while, the 5 people continued to attack Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. Ling Xiao knew that it was time for him to make his move. His opponent was very strong as Qin Changsheng. However, Ling Xiao was even more powerful. After the battle with Demon Dragon Lin Quan, Qin Changsheng had not only achieved a breakthrough in his cultivation level, but also in his martial arts. It would not take much effort to kill such a person. Under the light of the fluorescent stones, a few heads suddenly fell to the ground. Everyone looked at the heads that rolled on the ground like watermelons and couldn't figure out what had just happened. Qin Bao was the only one who screamed in fear. Ling Xiao purposely did not kill him in the first attack, so that he could experience the taste of fear before killing him. The elite fighter finally realized what was going on. He suddenly lunged at Lin Ruoxian and tried to use Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death as hostages to make Ling Xiao hesitate. However, no matter how fast he was not as fast as Ling Xiao. It was only one move. Ling Xiao used the move that he used to kill Demon Dragon Lin Quan. Shadow Martial Art, Ghost Slaying Dragon. Chapter 2575. A martial artist at the peak of Yin Yang Stage 7 transformation failed to block Ling Xiao's attack and died on the spot. Ling Xiao revealed his human form and looked at Qin Bao coldly. "Spare me, Sir Overlord, spare me. I was just muddle-headed for a moment." Qin Bao shouted in fear as he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. However, Ling Xiao did not have any sympathy or pity in his eyes. He flicked his right hand and a sword light pierced through the air. Qin Bao's throat was pierced. He was in extreme pain and suffocating as he gradually lost his vitality. "I said, those who follow me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. However, it seems like some of you don't understand what's going on." Ling Xiao said coldly and released everyone. He then left with Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. As for the rest, it was not like they did not know the way. He did not have the responsibility of escorting them. Just as Ling Xiao entered the abandoned mine to save everyone, Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. In another secret place, Anpa knelt in front of Qin Kanglin with a fearful expression. He had escaped, but was caught by Qin Kanglin's subordinates and sent to this place. He was sent there while he was dizzy. He did not even know where this place was. "Your Highness Ji Hyun of Silla, Anpa is willing to do anything for you." "I'll do anything for you," Anpa said respectfully. He was begging for mercy. He did not want to die, so he could only pledge his loyalty to Qin Kanglin. "All right, there's something that will test your loyalty." Qin Kanglin smiled faintly. "Go to this place and stop Ling Xiao. Kill him." "Kill Ling Xiao?" And Po was stunned. Of course he wanted Ling Xiao dead. This order was perfect for him. However, he was not confident. "You're afraid of that little demoness, right? It's all right. She's not with Ling Xiao. You don't have to worry at all. Kill him, and I'll believe in your loyalty." Qin Kanglin smiled. "I don't understand. Didn't you save Ling Xiao? Why do you want to kill him? Are you really going to kill him?" And Po was a little confused. He was afraid that after killing Ling Xiao, he would offend Qin Kanglin instead. "That brat is disobedient. Is this reason enough?" Qin Kanglin asked calmly. "Enough! Enough!" Anpo knew that the members of the royal family had always believed that those who obeyed them would prosper, and those who disobeyed them would perish. If they didn't like them, or if they didn't want to submit to them, they would kill them without mercy. "Then let's go." Qin Kanglin waved his hand and handed a map to Anpo. On the map was the route to intercept Ling Xiao. Follow him. I have one principle. Don't let Ling Xiao die, even if he only has one breath left. What I want is to devour the devil fetus and the 9 serenities, underworld, golden crows, remnant soul. If Ling Xiao really gets them, he will definitely use them in a life and death situation. And Pa is perfect for this. After Anpa left, Qin Kanglin said to Hong Min, just as Hong Min was about to leave, Qin Kanglin suddenly changed his mind. "No, you shouldn't go. Ling Xiao knows you. If he sees you, he will think that I am the one behind this. It's better to find someone he doesn't know who is stronger than Anpa. Your Highness is indeed thoughtful. Min, I will do it now. You two go first. Trouble is coming." On the way to 8 Immortal Mountain, Ling Xiao suddenly said to Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death, "No, although we are not as strong as you, we have broken through to the first transformation of Yin Yang realm and reached the 7th level of hell. We can definitely help you." The reason why Lin Ruoxian and Yu Shang were captured was because they were too careless. Otherwise, with their current strength, even Qin Changxing would have a hard time capturing them. Therefore, their combat strength was not that weak. Forget it. Let them stay, but don't force them. Ling Xiao stopped trying to persuade them because the enemy had arrived. "Since you are here, why are you still hiding?" Ling Xiao said coldly as he looked at a dark shadow not far away. "Ling Xiao, it's time to end the grudge between us." A figure stepped out of the darkness. Who else could it be but Inpa? "You are really loyal. I only cut off one of the 13th prince's arms, and you want to kill me?" Ling Xiao laughed. "You are wrong. I am not killing you because of the 13th prince. I am killing you because you deserve to die." And Pa was very unhappy. Ling Xiao actually forgot about him and didn't take him seriously at all. This was unacceptable to someone as powerful as him. Then why? Could it be that I unintentionally caused you to die without descendants? Ling Xiao said as he prepared the alchemy formation stones. He could feel that his opponent's strength had already far surpassed Demon Dragon Lin Quan's level. He was probably at the early stage of the 8th level of the Yin Yang realm. This was not something he could fight head-on with his current strength. Using an array was probably the best choice. "Bastard, have you forgotten about the spirit of the Shadow Black Gourd? This old man has stayed in the Dark Shadow Black Gourd for countless years, and has also used the Dark Shadow Black Gourd to absorb the blood of many martial artists. I was almost able to condense a human form, but it was destroyed by you. Don't you deserve to die?" And Pa roared, "So it's you!" Ling Xiao was stunned for a moment, then his face turned gloomy. "If I knew you were like this, I would have killed you back then." He did not expect this guy to hide in the Shadow Black Gourd to absorb the blood of martial artists. This guy was too cunning. "Ha ha ha, it's too late to regret now. With your current strength, you are no match for me without the help of that little demoness." And Pa laughed out loud, feeling very comfortable. "You know my relationship with Her Highness Ji Hyun of Silla. If you kill me, do you think she will let you go?" Ling Xiao was trying to get information out of Inpa. He wanted to know whether Inpa was here purely for revenge or because of someone else's order. "Do you want to know? At the moment of your death, I will tell you." And Pa was really cunning. He did not want to say anything even if he was beaten to death. He just wanted to make Ling Xiao anxious. "Well, in that case, I will beat you until you tell me." Ling Xiao knew Inpa's true identity, so he could not let Inpa continue to live. This guy seemed to have taken over old Demon's body. If he continued to live, his family and friends would be in great danger. After all, not everyone had Tai Chi like him. Not everyone could see Inpa's true body. "Ruoxian, Moon Death, the two of you assist me. Except for the Black Demon Sword. I will give you all the magic treasures for now." After Ling Xiao finished speaking, he gave all the magic treasures except for the Black Demon Sword to Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. With these magic treasures, the two girls' combat strength would increase, and they would be of greater help to him. Ling Xiao knew very well that he had encountered the most terrifying opponent since he came to the Black Tortoise continent. If he could not win, he would die. Chapter 2576. Ling Xiao, be careful! Lin Ruoxian reminded him. Then, she and Moon Death came to an agreement. Each of them held a few Dharma treasures and retreated to the periphery, ready to assist Ling Xiao at any time. If the two of them directly participated in the battle, they would not be of much help to Ling Xiao. Instead, they might become a burden. However, the effect of assisting from the periphery was much better. Although Ling Xiao was wary of Inpa, he was not afraid of Inpa. He still had some tricks up his sleeve. Although Inpa was strong, he did not have a martial soul. That was because he was a soul that occupied the body of the Earth Demon. Of course, with the body of the Earth Demon, his combat strength would still increase, but it would not be as obvious as a martial soul. The only thing I am wary of is that little devil girl. Today she is not here. What can the three of you do to me? As he spoke, Inpa took out 2 sharp fist blades. The fist blades were directly equipped on the wrist. During the battle, the hand blades would be there. Moreover, both hands could be used for other things. It was very convenient. After the weapons were equipped, Inpa's aura suddenly became much stronger. That soaring aura seemed to scare off Ling Xiao and the rest. This guy was so strong that the 3 of them had to work together to deal with him. Although Ling Xiao was not willing to do so, he was not an old-fashioned person. Knowing that the opponent was strong and difficult to deal with, not asking for help was not courageous, but courting death. Inpa did not waste any more time. His body suddenly moved. That fleeting figure was like a ghost. The originally strong aura was instantly restrained by him. Although he was so strong, he still used the Earth Demon's attack method. This Inpa was really cautious. The more he was like this, the harder it was to deal with him. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. He entered the purple lightning thunder bull transformation state and held the male and female 8 immortal sword with both hands. The top lightning battle body burst out with a shocking power of lightning that circled around his body. Facing such a strong opponent, Ling Xiao was prepared to use all his means except for the heavenly tyrant martial soul. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death nervously stood at the periphery, carefully observing the battle. The 2 of them had already been suppressed by Inpa's terrifying killing intent. Fortunately, he didn't face it directly. Otherwise, he would have been killed like a piece of wood. At this moment, they could only catch their breaths with Ling Xiao at the front. Now, they finally understood why Ling Xiao had asked them to assist in the periphery. When the 2 of them recovered from their shock, Ling Xiao and Inpa were already engaged in battle. Ling Xiao's purple lightning bull transformation had an absolute advantage in terms of physical strength. It was as strong as a real purple lightning bull. In this regard, Inpa was slightly inferior. The Earth Demon was good at sneak attacks, but its body wasn't strong enough. In the demon world, only the War Demon had a strong body that was comparable to the demon beasts. Therefore, in the first collision between the 2, although it was just a tentative contact, Inpa was still pushed back 2 or 3 steps by Ling Xiao's strong body. In a battle of pure strength, Inpa was definitely not Ling Xiao's opponent. This was the most terrifying thing about a beast warrior. Snake Hair Petrification Shield, Petrification Ray. At this moment, Lin Ruoxian, who was assisting in the periphery, used her magic treasure and released the Petrification Ray. Moon Death also held the Moonlight soul-controlling needle tightly, ready to use it at any time. This kind of magic treasure that could control or petrify people was the most difficult to deal with, and Pa also understood. Therefore, when he was about to counterattack Ling Xiao, he had to give up. Instead, Ling Xiao followed up and punched him. The fist with purple lightning was more effective than the previous attack, and Pa was pushed back 7 or 8 steps, and there were still electric arcs flashing on his body. Damn, that magic treasure is really a headache. Although the snake hair petrification shield could not completely petrify Inpa, he would be at a disadvantage if he was only partially petrified for a moment. Ling Xiao was too sneaky. He would not let go of even the slightest chance to attack. It was like a sharp blade hanging over his head, making him unable to fight in peace. He glanced at Lin Ruoxian, wondering if he should kill Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death first so that he could focus on fighting Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao would not give him such a chance. Since he already had the upper hand, Ling Xiao would not stop attacking. Suddenly, a strange flower appeared in his palm. This flower was a terrifying black color. It seemed to be condensed from flames in the darkness, and it seemed to be calling from hell. 13 Shadow Esoteric Night Demon Flower. Ling Xiao did not intend to hold back against Enpur, so he used the most powerful move he created before reincarnating. The Night Demon Flower was released and flew toward Enpur at a terrifying speed. A cold and sinister aura expanded in the air, and the surrounding demon beasts roared in horror. What the hell? And Po was shocked to see the Night Demon Flower. With his cultivation, he could naturally sense how terrifying the Night Demon Flower was. The Night Demon Flower contained a terrifying power that could destroy the heavens and earth. It made his hair stand on end and his hair stand on end. He tried to dodge. However, Moon Death used the Moonlight soul-controlling needle at this moment, and Po lost the best chance to dodge, and he had no choice but to use his martial arts to fight back. Shadow Ghost Gate! And Po put away his fists and pushed forward with both hands. A huge and heavy gate appeared in front of him, and he kept retreating. After all, although the Moonlight soul-controlling needle was effective, it was not as effective. Especially when used on Enpur, it could not completely control his movements. Under Enpo's gaze, the Night Devil Flower actually destroyed the huge ghost gate in an instant, and black flames spread out in all directions. The terrifying fire snakes continued to spread and pounced on Enpo. Enpo was horrified by this scene. The moment the Night Demon Flower exploded, he felt like he had just survived a disaster. The power was too terrifying. After all, the Shadow Ghost Gate was a top-tier Jade grade martial arts technique, and it was destroyed so easily. This was beyond his expectations. Triple Shadow Ghost Gate. Enpo did not dare to underestimate it, and he gathered his internal energy again, and 3 huge ghost gates appeared in front of him. After destroying the 3 gates of hell, the black flames finally extinguished. However, the fear and dread it brought took root in Enpo's heart. The ground seemed to have been burned to a crisp, and it turned into black powder. This made Enpo even more terrified. What kind of technique is this? Why is it so terrifying? I know you, and you can't possibly have such power. Enpo was shocked. Fortunately, he did not underestimate Ling Xiao and chose to retreat. Otherwise, he would have been burned to ashes if he was hit by the Night Demon Flower. This was simply too surprising. Could the Night Demon Flower be an immortal grade martial arts technique? Chapter 2577. Enpo frowned as he stared coldly at the young man in front of him. The more he thought about it, the more he realized how terrifying and talented this young man was. If he allowed this young man to continue growing, he would never be able to avenge his son. This young man's talent was unlike anyone else's. In time, even the entire Black Tortoise continent would submit to him, let alone the small Qin country. Ling Xiao frowned as well. He didn't expect Enpo to be able to block his Night Demon Flower. Speaking of which, his cultivation was too weak. Otherwise, the Night Demon Flower's power wouldn't have been limited to this. Not to mention 3 gates of hell. Even 30 gates of hell would be enough to reduce him to ashes. The Night Demon Flower consumed too much internal energy and couldn't be used too frequently. Ling Xiao could not help but sigh. But it didn't matter. He didn't expect this move to be able to kill Enpo. This kind of battle was more interesting, wasn't it? You must die. Otherwise, no one will be able to suppress you. Enpo didn't choose to retreat because of the Night Demon Flower. Instead, he was determined to kill Ling Xiao. If he didn't kill Ling Xiao now, he would never have the chance to do so in the future. He knew this too well. This kid was too monstrous, too terrifying. Shadow Frenzy. Ling Xiao was all too familiar with this move. Most of the Dark Tribe's elders and top geniuses knew how to use it. But when it was used by Enpo, its power was incomparably terrifying. Ling Xiao knew that the time to test himself had come. He raised both swords. Terrifying energy gathered at the tip of the swords. Suddenly, both swords stabbed forward. Dark/Yin Yang break. Two top-tier, jade, grade martial arts were used at the same time. The power wasn't as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. It was even stronger. Shadow, frenzy collided with the two moves. Ling Xiao was pushed back by 3 or 4 steps. And Pa, on the other hand, was a little abnormal. He was sent flying. In that instant, Ling Xiao saw through his opponent's scheme. Damn it! Sister Ruoxian, Moon Death, run! As he shouted, he jumped up and chased after Pa. And Pa was too cunning. On the surface, he was attacking Ling Xiao, but in reality, he was targeting Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. At the same time that he repelled Ling Xiao, he borrowed the rebound force from Ling Xiao to increase his speed. He believed that Ling Xiao wouldn't be able to catch up to him. As long as he killed Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death, he would be able to fight Ling Xiao wholeheartedly. Otherwise, it would be too unbearable to keep being held back. Ha ha ha! You two little girls, you're really too annoying. I'll kill you two flies first, then I'll kill Ling Xiao. Amidst his maniacal laughter, Pa unleashed his fist blades again. He used a move that was even more terrifying than before. It was a move from the shadow martial arts, shattering yin yang. And Po's shattering yin yang was more powerful than Ling Xiao's. Its speed was also faster than Ling Xiao's. Moreover, the sharp sword qi instantly enveloped Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. Originally, with Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death's abilities, they should be able to dodge this attack. After all, they still had the Space Blue Book in their hands. Unfortunately, these two girls weren't Ling Xiao. They were suppressed by Po's terrifying, murderous aura and forgot that they still had such a treasure on them, although they desperately used their defensive skills. In Ling Xiao's eyes, it was completely useless. Damn it, shifting forms. Shifting forms was a special skill that Ling Xiao had learned when he was in the Heavenly Dragon Continent. However, he hadn't used it for a long time. He didn't expect it to come in handy today. His figure instantly switched places with Lin Ruoxian. Then, he sent Moon Death flying with a palm strike. At this moment, because he had wasted a lot of time saving Moon Death, he could only face Po's shattering yin yang directly. He couldn't use the 1,000-mile wolf anymore. There wasn't enough time. Therefore, the only thing he could do was to circulate the power of the Royal Heaven Earth in his body. He hoped to use the peak lightning battle physique, the purple lightning thunder bull transformation, and the mystic world physique to withstand Po's attack. Po was really surprised that Ling Xiao could still save people in such a situation. However, after the surprise, he was ecstatic. Originally, it wasn't easy for him to find Ling Xiao's weakness. Now the opportunity had come. Ling Xiao was right under his fist, and there was absolutely no way for him to dodge. Ha ha ha, go to hell! The fist pierced through the peak lightning battle physique and easily tore through the lightning battle physique's defense. Then, it pierced through the purple lightning thunderbolt armor that wrapped around Ling Xiao's body and finally pierced through the mystic world physique. However, at this point, the power of shattering yin yang had become very weak. Ling Xiao breathed a sigh of relief and used this force to retreat. Hee, do you think you can escape? Aren't you underestimating this old man too much? Po's face revealed a sinister smile. He didn't pull out the fist, but it instantly erupted with an even more terrifying power. This old man has walked on more paths than you have eaten salt. You think I don't have special skills? Black death, demonic poison. The fist suddenly released a black death aura that instantly seeped into Ling Xiao's body and began to wreak havoc. Ha ha ha, this time you're dead for sure. Looking at Ling Xiao's immobile body, Po let out a wild laugh. Behind him, a tail stretched out and wrapped tightly around Ling Xiao's body. Then the fist in his hand flashed with a terrifying cold light. There was less than a meter between the two of them. Po was actually going to use the most powerful move he could currently use. He couldn't guarantee that he could kill Ling Xiao with other moves. Shadow martial art, ghost destroying king, ghost slaughtering dragon. After all, he was the ancestor of the Dark Tribe. The shadow martial art he cultivated was much more powerful than his descendants. He had cultivated to the level of the ghost slaughtering dragon. However, he was still inferior to Ling Xiao. Even so, at such a close distance, if he really hit Ling Xiao would definitely be dead. Even the blood spirit pill wouldn't be able to save him. This was the power of Po's entire body. However, Ling Xiao was currently being tortured by the Black Death demonic poison. His body was stiff as a zombie, and he couldn't move at all. F***CK, if I'm going to die, I'll drag you down with me before I die. It was because of his unyielding spirit that Ling Xiao was able to survive until now. His eyes suddenly flashed with a terrifying light. His hands, which were originally stiff, actually began to move. Old dog, you've spun a cocoon around yourself. Shadow martial art. Top jade grade final move. Ghost fighting emperor. What? And Po was shocked when he saw Ling Xiao's move. He was the ancestor of the Dark Tribe. How could he not know that there was such a move in the shadow martial art? This terrifying power was definitely a top jade grade martial art. It was comparable to his shadow ghost gate. However, its attack power was much stronger, and Po's two moves were not as powerful as Ling Xiao's move. What should he do? At that moment, and Po thought of retreating. However, he couldn't back down now. If he retreated, he would definitely be in trouble. Therefore, he could only bite the bullet and attack. Chapter 2578. Rumble. Both of their attacks collided within a meter. The terrifying power sent both of them flying. Ling Xiao wasn't having a good time, and Po wasn't having a good time either. Although Ling Xiao was restrained and poisoned by the Black Death demonic poison, and Po's attack was more powerful. In the end, both of their conditions were basically the same. Ling Xiao's male and female 8 immortal swords were sent flying. He fell to the ground and looked like he was on the verge of death. Ling Xiao had never suffered such a serious injury since he stepped into the Black Tortoise continent. Today was really a day of suffering. The intense pain made him feel like he was suffocating. The potential in his cells was gushing out crazily from this attack, constantly attacking his body. However, he had no way to control this energy. It was really a bit depressing. Compared to Ling Xiao, and Po's situation wasn't much better, and Po was hit by Ling Xiao's most powerful attack. Both of his legs were broken and blood was flowing out of his body. However, this guy's cultivation was much higher than Ling Xiao's, and he had many more tricks up his sleeve. He actually abandoned the Earth Demon's body and took out a brand new body from his storage ring. It was clearly a body that he had prepared long ago for possession. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, Ling Xiao, you're finished. Crazy laughter came from the brand new body. However, Ling Xiao could tell that the process of Dark Soul's possession would take at least 10 minutes. Because he was hit, his soul was also affected. It was basically impossible for him to recover in a short time. And these 10 minutes were his chance. At this time, Lin Ruoxian, who was in shock, was the first to recover. He rushed to Ling Xiao's side and threw a blood spirit pill into Ling Xiao's mouth. He used his internal energy to stimulate the pill's effect. After all, Ling Xiao's injuries were so serious that he couldn't even digest the blood spirit pill. Moon Death, stop and Pa. He's very weak right now. Lin Ruoxian shouted as he was treating Ling Xiao's injuries. Of course, Dark Pa didn't want Ling Xiao to recover. Even if he wasn't strong enough after taking over Ling Xiao's body, he still wanted to kill Ling Xiao. But unfortunately, Yu Shang blocked in front of him. Seeing that Ling Xiao was injured like that because of his own incompetence, Moon Death was both sad and angry. She launched a frenzied attack, wanting to kill Enpa. Although Enpa dodged most of the attacks, he was able to stop Enpa from attacking Ling Xiao. At this moment, it was basically a competition. Let's see who can recover faster and who can recover faster. Ling Xiao looked at Enpa coldly. Although he was heavily injured, he was extremely calm. Sister Ruashian, help me break through. This way, I'll recover faster. If he relied solely on the blood spirit pill, he would need at least 3 blood spirit pills to fully digest before he could recover. 1 blood spirit pill could only allow him to recover the ability to circulate his energy. But if he broke through, it would be a different story. If he broke through to the next realm, not only would his body recover quickly, his combat strength would also soar. By then, that old dog and Po wouldn't be his opponent at all. Moreover, he was constantly releasing the potential in his body. It would be a pity if he just let it go to waste. Ling Xiao, you're crazy. If you do that, you'll have to go through a lot of pain. Do you know that? Lin Ruaxian knew what Ling Xiao was trying to do. But if he did that, he would have to go through the most painful torture in the world. Because his body was broken, every time he circulated his energy, it would cause excruciating pain. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to withstand it. I'm not crazy. I'm very calm. We don't know what other tricks and has. Yu Shang can stop him for a while, but it can't stop him forever. We have to hurry up, otherwise we'll all die. Ling Xiao endured the pain and said, "All right, I'll help you." Lin Ruaxian knew Ling Xiao too well. Once Ling Xiao decided on something, it was impossible to change his mind. Instead of arguing here, he might as well help Ling Xiao break through as soon as possible. That way, he could prevent Ling Xiao from suffering even more pain. Seeing this, Impa laughed and said, "Idiot, you've already been poisoned by my Black Death demonic poison. You still want to break through?" The Black Death demonic poison's greatest effect is its absorption of energy. Even if you don't die, you'll be stuck here for the rest of your life. Don't even think about breaking through. Ling Xiao naturally didn't care about what Impa said. The Black Death demonic poison was indeed terrifying. But Ling Xiao believed that even the Black Death demonic poison was afraid of what he had. Since he couldn't get rid of it, he would just swallow it. He would let this Black Death demonic poison become his strength. Tao Tai Beast, swallow this Black Death demonic poison. A pitch-black, heavenly domain appeared behind Ling Xiao. It was vast and boundless, deep and mysterious. "What's that?" And Po was stunned for a moment. He instinctively felt a sense of fear and anxiety. Could that guy really be able to get rid of my Black Death demonic poison? No, impossible. Although he said it was impossible, and Po was very anxious, he desperately circulated his inner strength to adapt to this new body as soon as possible. At the same time, he swallowed his precious elixirs. These elixirs were refined from the blood of countless genius disciples of the 8 Immortal Mountain. They were even better than the blood spirit elixir. Therefore, his recovery speed instantly surpassed Ling Xiao's. Ling Xiao closed his eyes and didn't pay attention to his opponent's situation. There was only one possibility that could allow him, Lin Ruaxian and Moon Death, to survive. That was to break through. It was very easy to break through from the late stage of the 7th hellish stage to the peak stage of the Yin-Yang First Revolution. He only used less than 5 minutes. After all, he had suffered such serious injuries. The potential released from his cells was terrifying. However, to break through from the 7th hellish stage to the 8th hellish stage was a hurdle. It was a very big hurdle. During this process, Ling Xiao felt as if he had experienced everything from the 1st hellish stage to the 7th hellish stage. If it was an ordinary person, they would have been unable to endure that kind of pain. However, to Ling Xiao it was nothing. He had endured more painful torture than this in the past. If he could endure it in the past, he could also endure it now. In the pitch-black Tyrant universe, there was only the Broken Mountain River world. It was Ling Xiao who repaired the Broken Mountain River world bit by bit. The Heavenly Dragon continent, the Divine Phoenix continent, and the White Tiger continent. The 3 continents appeared in the Mountain River world as if they were perfect replicas of the real world. Other than living beings, Everything else was the same. At this moment, the mountain river world began to show the appearance of the black tortoise continent. However, it was only a small dot in the huge black tortoise continent. After this dot was enlarged. It was the vast land under the jurisdiction of the 8 Immortals County. When all of this appeared, Ling Xiao's cultivation seemed to be stimulated by some kind of power. Chapter 2579. When Ling Xiao broke through, the power of the royal heaven-earth continuously flowed into his limbs and bones, complementing the effects of the blood-spirit pill. In addition, he recovered after breaking through. At that moment, he suddenly opened his eyes. He broke through. He also recovered. He directly advanced from the late stage of the 7th level of hell to the early stage of the 8th level of hell. The combat power of the 8th level of hell was dozens of times higher than the 7th level of hell. At that moment, Ling Xiao was like a giant beast that could swallow the sky and destroy the sea, releasing an aura that could destroy the world. He suddenly opened his eyes. 2 terrifying bolts of lightning shot out from his eyes, piercing through the clouds in the sky. Wind and lightning surged. The sky changed color. Lin Ruoxian was astonished by his strength. However, and Po was terrified. Ling Xiao benefited from the disaster. Not only did he not die, but he also refined the Black Death demonic poison. Coupled with the large amount of potential in his body, he made a huge breakthrough in his cultivation. At the same time, Anpa had also regained his peak strength. However, he did not dare to fight again. Before Ling Xiao broke through, he could not suppress Ling Xiao. Instead, he was beaten to the point that he had to give up his strongest body. Now that Ling Xiao had broken through, how could he still have a chance of winning? He turned and fled in fear. He did not want to stay here for a second longer. However, Ling Xiao only looked at him indifferently. His expression was cold, and his gaze was indifferent, as if there was no killing intent. However, Anpa knew very well that he could not kill Ling Xiao just now. Now that Ling Xiao had recovered and broken through, he would definitely kill Anpa. What was dignity? What was dignity? He had escaped from Ling Xiao once, and he did not mind escaping again today. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao would not give him the chance. I spared your life on a whim, but I did not expect you to not be grateful and want to kill me instead. If not for my strong foundation, I would have been killed by you. Do you really think I will let this happen again? The wolf travels 1,000 miles, lightning wolf. Ling Xiao's body turned into a flash of lightning and appeared behind Anpa in an instant. No matter how fast Anpa was, he could not outrun the wolf. Damn it, why did I provoke him? Why? This guy's cultivation speed was so fast, and his improvement was godly. So many people wanted to kill him, but they couldn't. He's naturally a person with great fortune. Going against him is simply courting death. It's too late now. And Po was annoyed. If he had not made an enemy out of Ling Xiao, he would have been the strongest person in the 8 Immortals County. In the future, he might be able to live a carefree life as an ancestor of the dark race. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. The lightning behind him had already caused his body to feel waves of piercing pain. He knew that he was finished. He could only desperately shout, "Help!" A figure descended from the sky. This person's cultivation was even stronger than Po's. He had reached the middle stage of the 8th level of hell. He was dressed in black and wore a black scarf. Obviously, he did not want others to recognize his face. Young man, where it's possible to let people off, you should spare them. He didn't kill you, but helped you to break through. Why don't you spare his life? The black-clothed man was very arrogant. He spoke to Ling Xiao in an arrogant tone. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like this? At this moment, even if God was standing in front of Ling Xiao, he would not be able to stop him from killing Anpa. Although the black-clothed man was strong, he was nothing in Sumo's eyes. Young man, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Please let him go because I think highly of you. Don't force me to do it." The black-clothed man was obviously angry, but his arrogant tone was still there. However, at the moment he said those words, a cold light flashed across his eyes. He suddenly felt that his head was separated from his body. He felt cold at the bottom of his neck. He was horrified to see his body standing there shakily. "I'm dead." The black-clothed man lost his life in a daze. Even at the moment of his death, he still did not understand how Ling Xiao did it. "It's your turn, and even if God is here, he won't be able to help you." Ling Xiao's sword cut off the black-clothed man's head and pierced in Po's throat. The terrifying lightning pierced and Po's spiritual sea. This time, Enpa could no longer transfer his soul to another body. "Monster!" In his final struggle, Enpa yelled out these two words in horror. "You're right. I'm a monster. I specialize in killing bastards like you. Soul capture." The four-leaf demonic eyes released a strange demonic light. From Enpo's spiritual sea, Ling Xiao obtained the information he wanted. "Soul capture. Let your power become my power." At that moment, all of Enpo's cultivation was integrated into Ling Xiao's body. This guy was indeed a martial artist at the early stage of the 8th level of hell in yin-yang transformation. Just soul capture alone was enough to increase Ling Xiao's cultivation by 40%. What a pity. That guy died too quickly. Soul capture could only be used on the living. It had no effect on the dead. The martial artist at the middle stage of the 8th level of hell in yin-yang transformation was already dead. He could not use this move at all. However, Ling Xiao was not greedy. He could not overdo it by relying on soul capture to increase his combat power. He had to increase it by one stage. Then he would train and make this combat power belong to him. Otherwise, if too many external combat powers accumulated, it would be impossible to get rid of them. The unlucky one would be Ling Xiao himself. After dealing with Enpa, Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief. He had gained a lot from this battle. However, the process was extremely thrilling. Ling Xiao had almost walked through the gates of hell, but fortunately he managed to pull through. This was the life of a martial artist. It was absolutely impossible for a martial artist to never encounter danger on the road of martial arts. Only after experiencing danger again and again, and then transforming, could one truly grow. Who sent that person just now? Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death walked over and asked Ling Xiao. It doesn't matter who sent him. What matters is that he is already dead. Ling Xiao did not want to tell Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death the truth. He was worried that it would bring danger to the two girls. It would also bring him trouble. He found out from Enpo's spirit sea that the mastermind of this assassination was Chun Kanglin of Jihyun of Silla. As for the reason, he knew very well. However, he did not intend to expose it. He would pretend that he did not know anything for now. After all, with his current strength, he was still unable to fight against Jihyun of Silla. Sooner or later, he would take revenge. For now, he would make use of Jihyun of Silla's connections and power. This would make him safer in the Qin Kingdom. Let's go. It's time to go back. Ling Xiao hid some secrets in his heart. He brought Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death back to 8 Immortal Mountain. Chapter 2580. Ling Xiao felt that it was necessary to say goodbye to his friends and family before he left. By the way, don't tell anyone about what happened today so that they won't be worried. On the way, Ling Xiao reminded Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death, also, I plan to give the other 2 places to you. So, let's go to the Arcana Academy together. Continue to become stronger. I believe that you were very unhappy just now. You had the ability, but you didn't perform well because of your lack of experience. I don't want to comfort you because this is indeed your fault. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been injured so badly. So, if you don't want me to be injured again, fight. Go to a wider world to fight. Enrich your experience and continue to strengthen your strength. Understood. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death felt much better after being reprimanded by Ling Xiao. They swore that they would never make such a mistake again. Today's incident was their biggest lesson. In a secret place in the 8 Immortals County. And Po is dead. The people who were sent to protect him are also dead. That Ling Xiao is really surprising. He broke through again in such a short time. During this process, he didn't use the ability of the Netherworld Golden Crow, nor did he devour the demon fetus. Hong Min, let Qin Kanglin lie on her lap. She was carefully tidying up the hair of the Ji Hyun of Silla. She was casually talking about the news she had just received. Yeah, it's amazing. I was already shocked that he could kill Inpa. It's even more amazing that he could kill the people who were sent to protect Inpa. Qin Kanglin closed his eyes and said with a smile, "It seems that this kid has a lot of secrets." "Why, Your Highness, are you tempted?" Hong Min smiled. "Yeah, as long as it's a treasure. How can I not be tempted? But don't do it now. Let's use him to help me get rid of 14th brother first. Anyway, he can't escape from me." Chen Kanglin's lips curled into a proud and confident smile, as if everything was under his control. "Will he know that we sent Inpa over?" Hong Min suddenly asked. How could he know? Inpa didn't say anything, and the person we sent was a death warrior who would never speak. This secret would forever be buried in the 2 corpses. Ling Xiao would never know about it. He will only think that I, Chen Kanglin, really treat him as a good friend. In fact, it's just a weapon of mine. It's better than an ordinary dog. Qin Kanglin sneered. "Haha, Your Highness, you're so bad. Poor Ling Xiao. I reckon that he'll be kept in the dark, even until his death." Hong Min smiled happily. The Ling Xiao they were talking about had already returned to the 8 Immortals Mountain. In the Moon Clan he met his friends. Other than Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death, there was also Lin Yang, Qingwan Flower, Orange Feiying, and the others. Although these people were not strong, they had never abandoned Ling Xiao. Even when Ling Xiao's life and death were uncertain, they had never betrayed him. Therefore, he would not treat them badly. He would give them what they deserved. As for who could hold on to it, it would depend on them. In the future, the 8 Immortals County and even the Qin Nation would be managed by these friends. Ji Hyun of Silla has given me 5 days to settle the matters in the 8 Immortals County. I'll be leaving tomorrow. Before I leave, I'll give you these things. As he spoke, he took out the elixirs, Dharma treasures, and martial arts manuals that he no longer needed. These things might not be worth mentioning to him, but to these people they were priceless treasures. Each and every one of them was something that they could only dream of but could not get. "Oh, you're indeed the boss. When you first joined the 8 Immortals Mountain, you were not as good as me. But now, you've grown to the point where you can defeat the leaders of the 3 major forces in the 8 Immortals County. Speaking of which, I'm really impressed." Lin Yang was a straightforward and blabbermouth fellow. However, Ling Xiao did not feel abrupt at all. Instead, he felt very happy. Friends should be like this. No matter when, they should be like this. Otherwise, they would not be friends. After I leave, don't slack off. Cultivate well and strive to reunite in the royal city. I'm going to Yuhua Town. Ling Xiao stood up and left. The first place he went to when he arrived in Yuhua Town was not the Ling family, but the Ling family cemetery. His father, Ling Tai, who had been reincarnated into this world, was buried there. In front of the grave, there were many foods that Ling Tianxiong loved to eat when he was alive. Ling Xiao held a wine jar in his hand and looked at the tombstone. "Father, although you're only my father in this reincarnation, you're still my father. But to me, you're my closest relative in the Black Tortoise Continent. Starting tomorrow, I'll be going to the Qin Nation's royal city. I know that this is still far from the goal you gave me. The most powerful place in the Black Tortoise Continent, the Immortal Palace, is the most powerful place in this continent. Don't worry, I'll definitely go. Not only will I make those people in the immortal palace pay the price for harming you, but I'll also save you. Let's drink up this jar of wine." After speaking, Ling Xiao poured a jar of wine in front of the grave and drank another jar. Before he left, he strengthened the array formation here. The stronger he was, the better he could control the formation. Therefore, strengthening it was necessary. After paying respects to his father, he returned to the Ling family. Although he had no feelings for this family, it was still the first force that supported him in the Black Tortoise continent. It was only right to go back and take a look. Now, everyone in the 8 Immortals County had to look up to him, not to mention the small Yuhua town. The people here had long heard of the legendary story of him fighting the 3 faction leaders alone and defeating them. The storyteller would tell this story in the tavern almost every day, but there were many people listening every day. It was as if they never got tired of hearing it. Originally, Yuhua Town only had the statue of the sword and saber Shenhuang. Now, there was another statue that was bigger and more majestic than the statue of the sword and saber Shenhuang. He was called Ling Xiao Shenhuang. Ling Xiao didn't know whether to laugh or cry about this statue. Although the carving material was excellent and the carving was very high, he felt that the name was a little out of place. However, in any case, it was the filial piety of the people of Yuhua Town, so he didn't say anything. After visiting the statue, he embarked on his journey. This time, after returning to the 8 Immortals County, he would follow Ji Hyun of Silla and Chun Kanglin to the Chun Kingdom's capital. He might not return for a long time. Goodbye, Yuhua Town, the place where I reincarnated. He directly broke through the sky and left. Ling Xiao didn't like riding demonic beasts. The main reason was that he wanted to cultivate all the time. Flying for a long time and a long distance was very beneficial to his movement technique and inner strength. Others were worried about wasting inner strength, but he wasn't. Chapter 2581. The day before Ling Xiao left the 8 Immortals County, Ji Hyun of Silla and Chun Kanglin moved into the 8 Immortals County's guardian mansion. After Ling Xiao returned to the 8 Immortals County, he found Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. He then went to the guardian mansion to visit Ji Hyun of Silla and Chun Kanglin. A man and 2 women walked in the courtyard of the guardian mansion, attracting the envious gazes of the crowd. It was unknown if they were envious of Ling Xiao for having 2 beautiful women accompanying him, or if they were envious of Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death for being able to accompany the 8 Immortals County Lord. In short, the envious voices were incessant. As for the little devil girl, Ling Xiao had temporarily placed her in the mountain river world. The little devil girl was too strong and too eye-catching. She should be used as Ling Xiao's trump card. Moreover, the more secretive she was, the higher the success rate when carrying out secret missions. Anyway, the mountain river world was not small. It would be difficult for the little devil girl to walk around in the huge space. Halfway through, Chun Kanglin came out with Hong Min to welcome them. Chun Kanglin was indeed a formidable person. He knew how to win people over. If Ling Xiao had not found out about Chun Kanglin's true colors from Inpa, he would have been very grateful to this person. Ha ha ha, brother Ling Xiao, you are finally here. Chun Kanglin affectionately grabbed Ling Xiao's hand and smiled. It was as if they were brothers meeting. Ji Hyun of Silla's eyes glanced at Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death and revealed a shocked expression. After all, there were not many women who were so beautiful and talented, especially Lin Ruoxian, whose beauty and temperament were not inferior to Hong Min Er's. However, Ji Hyun of Silla was Ji Hyun of Silla. After a moment of surprise, he quickly regained his composure. What did the profound world lack? The only thing it did not lack was women. In this world of experts, powerful and beautiful women could be found everywhere. Although Lin Ruoxian had a beauty that could turn the world upside down, Moon Death's appearance could also be considered peerless. But how could a man who wanted to do great things be burdened by a woman. Qin Kanglin understood this because his elder brother, the crown prince, had been ruined by a woman. That crown prince actually went to sleep with his father's woman. Wasn't that courting death? In the end, he was crippled and banished to the cold palace forever. He deserved it. Brother Ling Xiao, you're so lucky. You have so many beauties in your arms, and they're all devastatingly beautiful. Qin Kanglin smiled at Ling Xiao. Jihyun of Silla, that's where you're wrong. You've never seen the real peerless beauty. That's the only woman that Ling Xiao truly loves. For people like me, I'm already satisfied to be his friend. On one hand, Lin Ruoxian wanted to clarify her relationship with Ling Xiao. On the other hand, she wanted to tell Qin Kanglin not to try to win over Ling Xiao from the woman's side. Be careful not to go for wool and come home shorn. Ha ha ha. It seems that brother Ling Xiao's heart belongs to someone. Forget it. Let's not talk about these things. Since we're already here, let's ride. Brother, come with me on the black tortoise carriage. Jihyun of Silla seemed to have realized that Ling Xiao did not like to talk about these things, so she immediately changed the topic. In the sky, a luxurious carriage was floating there. The one pulling the carriage was actually a black tortoise with the bloodline of the black tortoise. This black tortoise was extremely powerful when it was born. In the black tortoise continent, only the nobles were qualified to ride the black tortoise carriage. It was against the law for ordinary people to ride it. It would be very troublesome if they were discovered. Of course, if you were powerful, you would be an exception. The black tortoise carriage looked very big, enough for dozens of people to ride, so it was more than enough for the 5 of them. Thank you, Your Highness, for your kindness. Ling Xiao did not reject, nor did he have a reason to. He did not know the way to the capital of the Qin Kingdom, nor did he have a map. He could only follow His Highness Jihyun of Silla. In the black tortoise carriage, Qin Kanglin and Ling Xiao chatted for a while, then they went to rest. The black tortoise carriage was really big. It was so big that the distance from the front of the carriage to the back was at least a few hundred meters. Ling Xiao, Lin Ruoxian, and Moon Death were resting at the back of the carriage. Qin Kanglin and Hong Min were at the front of the carriage. There were a few doors in between. Your Highness, if you like those 2 girls, just accept them. I don't think Ling Xiao will make an enemy out of you because of those 2 girls, right? Hong Min said with a smile. No, a little impatience will spoil great plans. Although I am a pervert, it would be foolish to spoil great plans because of lust. Qin Kanglin shook his head and said, let them follow Ling Xiao first. When Ling Xiao is no longer of any use, it won't be too late to snatch those 2 girls away. At the back of the carriage, Ling Xiao looked at the scenery outside the window with a calm gaze. Lin Ruoxian was a little worried. Ling Xiao, I'm afraid it's not good for you to go to the capital of the Qin Kingdom. The matter with the 13th prince is one of them. Although that guy is a good-for-nothing, he is still the son of the Qin Kingdom's king. If you offend him, you won't have an easy time. And that Qin Kanglin, I always feel that he is too cunning and hard to get along with. I don't know what he is thinking. It's normal that it's not good. After all, the Qin Kingdom's king has gathered all the experts of the Qin Kingdom. Don't look at how powerful I am in the 8 Immortals County. But when I go there, I'm just a low-level warrior. Danger is inevitable. Ling Xiao chuckled and said, just like the moment I stepped into the 8 Immortals County, there were many experts stronger than me. But didn't I still make it here? To me, the more experts there are, the more battles there will be, and the faster my strength will increase. To put it bluntly, the Qin Kingdom's king is just a stepping stone for me. If I don't even dare to go there, then how can I roam the black tortoise continent? Lin Ruoxian thought about it and agreed. Ling Xiao had many secrets, so many that she couldn't count them all. Perhaps it was just as Ling Xiao said, that she was worrying too much. Yu Shang, on the other hand, looked at Ling Xiao with admiration. In her eyes, Ling Xiao was the embodiment of a perfect warrior, an invincible existence. How could he be defeated? Ling Xiao was, of course, not as strong as Moon Death imagined, but he was also not as weak as Lin Ruoxian feared. He was a powerful beast god warrior. He also had a top-notch lightning battle body. He also had first-level and second-level immortal grade martial techniques. Even the young people in the royal city might not be able to compare with him. Not to mention his powerful tyrannical martial soul, mysterious external incarnation, the butterfly lady spirit, and Yuan venerate. These were all his trump cards. Any one of them would be very shocking. Even if it is a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, I will still give it a try. Ling Xiao took a deep breath. Suddenly, he felt a strong sense of danger. Ling Xiao grabbed Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death and jumped out of the black tortoise carriage. The moment he jumped out of the black tortoise carriage, a huge hand appeared in the sky and turned into a huge claw, smashing the black tortoise carriage into dust. Ling Xiao saw that Ji Huan of Silla, Chen Kanglin, and Hong Minor had also escaped in advance. Chapter 2582. Ling Xiao, you guys go to the Imperial City first. These people are coming for me. Chen Kanglin's expression did not change in the face of such a powerful attack. Even Hong Min, who was beside him, had a calm smile on her face. It was as if they did not care about these people at all. Hearing his words, before Ling Xiao could say anything, a fiery red figure suddenly stepped out of the clouds and revealed a ferocious smile. Ha ha ha! Chen Kanglin, you and the people around you will not leave today, especially that Ling Xiao. If you kill him, your trip to the 8 Immortal City will be in vain. The person who spoke did not reveal his true face, so it was difficult to determine which group he was from. After all, Chen Kanglin wanted to fight for the throne and would offend many people. It was most likely the 14th prince, the dragon cult, might also be involved. It was also possible that the 13th prince's people were here to save him. This was because the moment the black turtle carriage was destroyed, the 13th prince had already been snatched away by the huge hand. However, one thing was for sure. The opponent was very powerful and wanted to kill them all. Sister Ruoxian, Moon Death, follow me. We will kill our way out. These people's main target is Chen Kanglin. In their eyes, we're just clowns. Ling Xiao lowered his voice. The moment the opponent attacked, he suddenly dashed in a direction. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death followed behind him. The two of them had already taken out their Dharma treasures and were ready to use them at any time. Just as Ling Xiao expected, there were a total of 5 people. 4 of them pounced on Chen Kanglin and Hong Min. Only one of them pounced on Ling Xiao, and the other 2. Petrification Ray. Moonlight Control. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death used their Dharma treasures at the same time, causing the person to be in a trance for a moment. Ling Xiao took the opportunity to pull out the 8 Immortals' sword and stabbed out. It was the same move that destroyed and Po's body, the Ghost War Emperor. Now that his cultivation was much stronger than before, it was reasonable to say that the power of this move should be even more terrifying. However, at the moment when he stabbed the other party, he only managed to scratch the other party's skin. This made Ling Xiao turn pale with fright. He immediately released the Night Demon Flower. Only the Night Demon Flower could instill fear in his opponents. The Night Demon Flower exploded in the sky. Ling Xiao, Lin Ruoxian, and Moon Death were nowhere to be seen. Of course, that powerhouse didn't die. He immediately chose to dodge when he sensed danger. However, he still lost an arm because of this. They also lost sight of Ling Xiao and the others. Damn it! How dare you make an enemy of the dragon cult? You must die. He actually endured the intense pain and chased after the place where Ling Xiao and the others had fallen. At this time, Ling Xiao, Lin Ruoxian, and Moon Death had already landed on the ground. for a Yin-Yang Realm martial artist, especially a Yin-Yang Realm first transformation martial artist. Flying through the void was not a rare thing. Therefore, even if they fell from a high altitude, there wouldn't be any problems. Big Brother Ling Xiao, what should we do next? Moon Death asked. Ambush, kill. Ling Xiao sneered. That person's arm was destroyed by me. He'll definitely be angry and chase after us. Let's set up an ambush here and beat him up. That's a dragon cult expert. He's at least a Yin-Yang Realm, first transformation, level 9 of hell. Can the three of us fight him? Lin Ruoxian asked worriedly. Have you forgotten about the little demoness? Ling Xiao smiled strangely. Since the opponent was a target that he couldn't defeat no matter what, it was simple. Naturally, his avatar could play a crucial role in this. Who would know if he secretly killed that guy? Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death also looked enlightened. Then, the three of them hid in the dark. Ling Xiao released the little demoness. He also threw out a formation refining stone. He couldn't let that guy escape. Therefore, the formation released by the formation refining stone was the Plague Bone formation that Ling Xiao was most proficient in. The Plague Bone formation came from the Plague Demon King's formation. Ling Xiao improved and improved it. Not only could it weaken the opponent due to the plague poison, but it could also absorb the opponent's inner strength. It could also form a large plague barrier to prevent the enemy from escaping. The dragon cult member didn't know that there was danger. He didn't expect that 3 mere ants would dare to ambush him here. When he fell from the sky, he didn't even have the slightest bit of vigilance. He lifted his leg and rushed toward the trap that Ling Xiao deliberately set up. That was because he left his aura in that direction. However, the moment the dragon cult expert lifted his leg, the plague bone formation was activated. The formless plague poison gas instantly entered the dragon cult expert's body. That guy reacted quickly and noticed that something was wrong. He wanted to escape, but the green plague barrier had already formed around him. His inner strength was constantly being drained, which made him extremely surprised and terrified. Who is it? Who is this expert? Why is he making an enemy of my dragon cult? Until now, the dragon cult expert still didn't know that he had fallen into Ling Xiao's hands. He released his martial soul. It was a devil dragon that was several times stronger than Lin Quan's devil dragon. It began to devour the plague poison gas. Little demoness, go. Ling Xiao naturally wouldn't give the dragon cult expert a chance to escape. He immediately ordered the little demoness to attack. The little demoness' strength was not weaker than the dragon cult expert. In addition, she had the terrifying light of the netherworld and the plague bone formation. This made the dragon cult expert fall to the ground in an instant. It was impossible for him to escape even if he wanted to. Ling Xiao immediately used Soul Snatch and Soul Snatch while the other party still had a bit of breath left. The information obtained by Soul Catcher was very simple. This person was a disciple of the dragon cult, and he was just an ordinary disciple. The dragon cult was divided into 4 grades: core disciple, elite disciple, ordinary disciple, and servant disciple. This guy was just an ordinary disciple. This time, he was ordered to kidnap the 13th prince. In fact, killing Qin Kanglin was secondary. The benefits of Soul Catcher were many. Ling Xiao's cultivation instantly increased by 7 energy points. He instantly reached the early stage of the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm with 100% energy. As long as he experienced an evenly matched battle, he would be able to break through. This guy is just an ordinary disciple of the demonic dragon cult, but he has a lot of good things in his storage ring. He even has a top-tier Jade grade martial skill. It's really infuriating to compare with others. Ling Xiao rummaged through the dragon cult expert's storage ring. In addition to a large number of spiritual stones and elixirs, there were also top-tier Jade grade martial skills. Thinking back to the 8 Immortal City, low-grade top-tier Jade Grade martial skills were enough to incite endless killing between martial artists. This really made people sigh with emotion. It seems like we made the right choice to go to the royal capital. Whether it's the resources or the environment, it's much better than the 8 Immortal City. Lin Ruashian said, "You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."